That's all, folks.
You requested it, so we rewound.
Previously on.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Face, and we got a great show today with a special guest. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-host, Mr. Key Issues and Black Crown Comics. Go ahead and bring them both in.
Pow, pow, pow. What's happening, baby?
What's up,
guys? What's going on?
I was like dodging, man. I was like, yo.
It's like the Matrix, and we just started.
Hey, we can't say Matrix without Mr. Blue Pill, baby. Shout outs to Hyper.
All right, shout out Hyper Combo. So, guys, we got a special guest with us today. I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's written a comic that I absolutely love called Slowpokes. It's about killer sloths. I know I read it and enjoyed it. I know Mr. Key Issues has it right there. He's a huge fan. Black Crown just read it here not too long ago, and he said he's enjoyed it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull in Mr. Steve Urena.
I just wanted to surprise you guys with the nice slowpoke.
I love it.
Keep you guys on your toes, but thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys for backing Slowpokes, for purchasing Slowpokes, and reading Slowpokes just now. Thank you for having me on. I feel bad that I don't have a crazy nickname, but by the end of this night, we're gonna have to figure out one for me.
Hey, why not?
I'm on it.
We can definitely. I mean, we can definitely come up with something good. I'm sure.
All right, I'll take it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a good one. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here on the show. Thank you guys for having me. How are you guys doing today?
You're excited. I think we're excited, buddy. This is supposed to be the other way around.
This is the first time in an interview that I've ever dropped down the so like
we have another first appearance.
Exclusive.
There's no better way to open a show, really.
I mean, I remember all the code. Like, I love rap music, so like, you would always hear like the most random sounds in the middle of things. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Rewind and gunshots being forward. It's like, who's it gotta be somebody like on a board, right? It's just like, that's enough gunshots, or like, oh, we need something different. So
insert lasers.
Lasers.
It's about time for lasers.
Yeah, it's really, it's 2021. You know what I mean? It's laser. It's the laser era. This is
machine gun fire is so 1993.
That's a good year, man.
All right, so definitely we're excited to have you on the show. We were just talking in the backstage. You've written 2 books now, and it actually checks off 2 boxes for me because I'm a fan of Sloth and I'm a fan of zombies.
Awesome.
And it just works out perfectly. It's like, but Slowpokes was the original project that you got started with on Kickstarter, and it seemed like it was pretty successful and everything like that. So now we're getting another project in Zombie Date Night, and I gotta be honest, I'm curious about that one because obviously I know a little bit about Slowpokes, having read it and everything like that, but Zombie Date Night, I'm a little curious about that. Where are we going with that exactly? How do zombies date?
So here's basically the premise for Zombie Date Night. It's and I'm sure we've all gone through this. Everybody's gone through a bad dating story and or a good dating story. So this is basically, what would make a first date even more awkward, and it's zombies, of course. So that's where Zombie Date Night kind of comes in, where if you were on a bad date, what would you do? Like, and a zombie invasion broke out, would you stick around and be the good guy, or be like, this date is going terrible, I will see you later, I'll see you at another time? So that's basically what Zombie Date Night is about. It's about 2 characters who meet up for the first time, and while they're on their very awkward first date, a zombie invasion happens and all hell breaks loose. So that's what I got for you. There's no fast killer slots in this one, but there are interesting zombies in this one.
Well, hopefully she wasn't catfishing this guy. Otherwise, it might be a short issue.
You know what?
It's a one shot.
Hopefully. Hopefully she's not like an Olympic runner, because if this goes down and we're on a date, I'm tossing you in front of the zombies first. I just met you, girl. I'm sorry. I look out for number one. I know you run slow.
But what if that happened to you? What if she's like, I'm bailing and throws you into the zombies?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Or what if it was like you both did try to do it at the same time? Would it be love? You know what I mean? Like, you know, they just both grab each other like, oh, I was gonna throw you in there. You were gonna throw me in there too? All right. You know,
let's go together.
Your author.
Okay, so I feel like this is a pretty interesting premise for a zombie book. We've definitely got some options to start with here.
Yes, absolutely. There's many options. I should have probably made this a choose your own adventure where it's like throw the girl at the zombies. You know what I mean? Throw them in. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what I should
sell a million copies for sure.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if it's over, page 3, done.
Right.
God, that's amazing, man.
So, was there anything in particular that was an inspiration for this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, so right now I'm dating somebody, but like, you know,
And then the problems broke out.
3 years ago, I was, I was on the apps. Like I was out there trying to go out with girls and see what happened and see if there was, spark a connection. And some of these things were just horrible. So like, I just always thought to myself, I was like, oh man, like if I went on this date and it was, maybe that's how I measured how good the dates were, where it's like, all right, if there was a zombie outbreak, would I stay? That's basically what I would. That was the measuring stick, I guess. So that's kind of
so many steps. You went straight to survival.
I would stick around.
We said, "Fuck that 1 to 10 scale."
Yeah,
we're going straight to feed them to the zombies.
Yes, it's the zombie scale.
I like it. No middle ground.
No middle ground. Zombie invasion. I'll stick around. Not. We're done. But yeah, just those stories, and just like you see the craziest things on like these Tinder apps and stuff like that. Like I remember there was one where a girl said that like she's like, oh, 26, baby mama, Slytherin. I was like, what? I was like, I roll with Hufflepuff. Like, come on. I'm only kidding. But like, it's just funny. It's like, people put themselves out there, try to put their best selves out there. And I was like, Slytherin. I was like, man, somebody is trying to find the right person and keeping it super specific.
True.
Well, now I got to know. What house are the main characters?
What house? I guess Dumbledore. Some Dumbledores, some Ravenclaws. The grandma with the chancleta. Definitely some Hufflepuff going on there.
With the spikes, I died when I saw that. Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't know what you guys are in for.
Right. I feel like it's going to definitely be a good time. And just to give everybody a little bit of more clarification, if you don't know, to give you the specifics, you can go over to Kickstarter and check out Zombie Date Night over there. I believe they can just search Zombie Date Night and it'll come right up on that, right?
That's it. That's all you got to do. I mean, we have links on our Instagrams and Twitters, but if you just go on Kickstarter.com and type in Zombie Date Night, you'll find it.
And I mean, the art on it looks really good. The story sounds like it's gonna be hilarious again. Slowpokes was another one. That's another one. I gotta ask the same question, man. Where did you find the inspiration for that one?
Yeah, man.
Please, guys, I just read it and it's absolutely amazing. Like I loved it. One scene I do want to point out. I'm just gonna say roller coaster. I want to know.
Wait,
I want to know. Roller coaster, man. It was amazing.
Right? So with Slowpokes, so I'll go back to the roller coaster, but with Slowpokes, the inspiration came from like if you look at a sloth, they look scary. Like they have claws. They always look like they're up to something. So when all these B movies, I love B movies. I love crazy horror movies. No matter however ridiculous it is, I will go and check it out. So with Slowpokes, it just it just was about like when all these sci-fi movies were coming out, like Sharknado and everything. It's like, well, what are they going to do next? Like fast killer sloths? And then like I kind of like was like, maybe that hasn't been done before. maybe I could do. And while I was taking classes at Comics Experience, they were like, "Oh, we want you to pitch a 20-page story." And in my mind, I was like, "That would be hilarious." I was like, "If anything from this class, I'm going to have fun with this and fast killer sloths." And I was very lucky that a lot of people responded to it and were like, "Yes," like you know what I mean. That could have gone any way, but people were very cool. But with the roller coaster, I am deathly afraid of rides. So like, I always think that I'm going to get my head chopped off on one of these.
Wow.
Well, that explains it.
With the sloths, I was like, how funny would it be if like everybody's going up for the ride and they go into the hole and then just like all their heads are chopped off. And you get that picture and there's no head.
It was just so clean.
It was.
It was very
the kill to whirl. That was the kill.
Oh yeah.
There were so many pages where I'm just like, what the heck? Where did he come up with this? This is amazing. But
it was great.
Yo, honestly, at one point it had like a very alien feel, like the move back to the movie. Yeah, with the like fence and whatnot. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh, possible inspiration, but it was done perfect, man. Perfect.
Thank you. So my favorite thing, like the thing with the amusement park rides is that's based on my life, not the killer sloths part, but like for high school graduation. After the graduation was over, they sent us all to this like indoor amusement park for the night, and it wasn't until like midnight. It was like all night, and they like kept you there. And I'm like, we're adults, like we graduated. If we want to leave at 4 a.m, we should be able to leave. So I always thought that would be a good premise for like it's like, hey, we took your phones, like we're locking you in for the night, like we're gonna have fun, and then like these killer sloths come in and kill you. Also, you're like, I'm sure you guys have seen like when the carnival comes to town, there's always the Gravitron, there's always like the Himalayan, there's always these like 3 rides, and the Ferris wheel. So like the Gravitron, I was like, I have to put that in there because if anybody's like stuck, they're gonna get killed in the Gravitron, and it'll be like a blender situation.
That was a good kill.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that works science-wise, but like in the Slowpoke universe, it works.
Yeah, it damn sure worked in the comic.
I'm hoping to go on Mythbusters one day and be like, no, they're like, this can't happen.
Is there any chance of the Slowpokes and Zombie Date Night being a shared universe? Like maybe the zombies are from the
like Charity's family, or like.
So I will always in my future projects like I always reference other things in other comics just to get a laugh out of myself and for people who are sticking around. So I'm not sure if it's a shared universe, but I will say this: there is a Slowpokes Easter egg in Zombie Date Night.
That's an exclusive, baby.
It's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoy it when the time comes.
Oh, now we're gonna have to find that for sure. We're gonna have to find that.
Man. All right. Speaking of, we have LJ, Karate Carlos, Charity. What was her name? Eden Rare.
That's right.
Yep.
And then the bully, who I can't remember his name. The Hurricane. Why couldn't I remember that? All right. Where did those characters come from, man? Because I got boys that are just like LJ, and like
right. We've all got those friends.
They're
so relatable. Your characters are so relatable, and it's only one issue.
They're relatable because they're real. Like, here's the thing. Like, I take pieces and parts. So the Hurricane was a real kid. There was a kid in my high school who, again, he was a nice kid, but he believed, like, he thought he was, he called himself the Hurricane. Like, he was on the football team, and he always thought that he was like this king shit and everything like that. But like, he wasn't good at football. Like, he was a nice kid, but he just wasn't like, that wasn't his thing. So he tried to coin himself a nickname, and they just like bullied him even worse for it. They're like, no, you're not the fucking Rock, like a Hurricane. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait, he gave himself the nickname, the Hurricane? He gave himself the nickname because the game. I remember that's even better.
He had his own shoe, and it was called the Hurricanes. So he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be the Hurricane." And I'm sure in his head it sounded better than when he said it to everybody. So that's a real person that is based off of. Not everything, but just definitely the name and calling himself the Hurricane in the third person. And then
the third person, my man.
And then LJ is based on friends that I have, just kind of mixing them together. Karate Carlos is a real guy.
Whoa!
No,
I was hoping he had to be a real
he was the
person.
best character.
Karate Carlos.
By far.
It's based on it's just basically the name. The character is not super based on him, but Karate Carlos was a kid that we had in our high school. That I feel like in every high school there's a kid who's like super into anime and martial arts, and just like is just like that's his thing. Like I don't even know if that kid's name was really Carlos. Everybody called him Karate Carlos, and he would show up to school and like he would do his moves, and he like one time he went to my friend. He's like, hey man, good morning. Like I got this Dragon Ball for you, man. Like you got to hold on to it. You got to hold on to it, man. And my friend's just like, thank you. Like, so he, it's just taking pieces and parts from my life, and like I grew up in a small town called Mount Olive, New Jersey, and there was just always weird and crazy stories like from that town. Like we had a food fight. There was I'll try to think of there was a kid in the police blotter who threw an M80 at a cop, and like every time it's full, I always am reminded of that. In my town, they busted a prostitution ring because somebody was asking for extra sugar at Dunkin' Donuts, and they got caught. Somebody was just asking for extra sugar in his coffee.
That's how they got the lead.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
There was a kid who was trying to steal a car. Like he went to my high school. He was trying to steal a car, and he stole a stick shift car. Didn't know how to do it. And he was like, "All right,
man,
I gotta put it back." He put it back, and they caught him.
Oh no!
So, like things like that. Those kind of stories. Like I always like those. Are dear to my heart. So I always want to make sure I put stuff like that in the comics.
So since high school, have you had a high school reunion? Has he become Sensei Carlos? Do we know?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like after this happened, after the Slowpokes happened, I was like, oh, I wonder where that kid is, or like I wonder what he's doing. I think he was in a grade below me, even though he was older than me, because he probably I think he was held back.
He was focused. He was
yeah, he was very focused. He was training.
So I don't know where he is. I don't know where Hurricane is. I don't know where Karate Carlos is. But Karate Carlos, like we all are just like, I wonder what happened to that kid. And then I always thought in my mind like he would come back and just try to whoop my ass because he's like, you can't steal my name. You can't steal Karate Carlos's name.
Oh man,
that's my legacy.
We got
we actually have a question in the chat here. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was just bringing it up there on screen. So,
how did I get started writing comics? So I've always wanted to write comic or be part of comics since I was a kid. Like my mom is a fashion designer. So I always was like, oh, I want to draw comics. I want to be a comic artist. And then I put pen to paper and no, like it was not supposed to be like that. So, for years I was like, oh, I have to draw. I can't be a writer. I can't be anything like that. So when I got older, I looked back into schools. I was like, oh, there's got to be writing. There's got to be something. And I found Comics Experience. And Comics Experience had classes that were online. You could write anything you want, basically, and they'll teach you how to do it like the right way. So I enrolled in classes, and I did the 5-page course, and I was like, oh, I love this. Like even if I just continue to do this. Sorry, my cat is jumping on, jumping up there. Ready to
bring him on the show. First appearance. Shoot.
Everybody loves cats, right?
Killer cats.
There you go.
Oh yeah, there you go. And that's how you keep the killer sloths away.
That's it.
But yeah, Comic Experience just kind of kept me going, and they were so positive, and they wanted me to do more. So when Slowpokes, I gave them the issue. The instructor who worked for Marvel before was like, oh, this is actually a pretty good comic. Like it's fast moving, it's action packed, and like it's good. So I was like, you know what, it's done. Might as well go get it made and see what happens.
Beyond action packed, though, I will put it out there. It is loaded with awesomeness.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that. I wish my teacher said that, but I'll take it.
FaceTime was the one to put me on this, and this is actually the very first time I've ever used Kickstarter before. So, like, this is amazing, man. This is like
to me is crazy too that people are using Kickstarters or having me on as their like first guest. I'm like, oh man, like that's so much to live up to. Like, I just hope I do a good job. But I just want to keep making comics, keep making people entertained and laugh, and And that's it. Like, you know, there's so many different comics out there that are doing such great stuff. I just hope I'm part of that.
Man,
I mean, that's like, that's a pretty good sentiment to have. I mean, that seems like, I don't know. I guess that ties into like the same reason why we do this. You know, as long as somebody's taking something away from it, you know, as some kind of enjoyment.
You guys have a good show because you guys have chemistry and you guys have love for comics. Like that goes such a long way, because like if people are seeing you do it, like they're gonna be inspired by it. Like this is a very good interview, and I'm very excited to be here.
Well, we appreciate it, and definitely you being here for sure. So getting into it a little more, whenever you're writing about, I'm just out of curiosity, about how long does it take you to write a book like Slowpokes or Zombie Date Night?
So here's the thing. I think I've just been stopped up for a long time in terms of like, I went to school for college. I went to school for college. That's not a good sentence at all. I went to college for creative writing and journalism, and you know, I took classes with like authors and things like that. And I would write in there, and I'd feel so like free and awesome. And I was like, you know, I gotta just find my medium, because like, listen, people who write short stories and things like that, that's a very hard thing to find, like to find people to read your stuff. So with comics, I was like, all right, if I have fast killer sloths, the people will at least have their eyes on this. And if it works out, then this is a good introduction as to who I am, because I don't know if I would be able to be in comics without something like this, because people will see superhero stories all the time and be like, okay, you know, it could be cool, but I'm not going to do this. Fast killer sloths, like I'm in there. Like, so that's
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was exactly that, because how I ended up coming across you was I had got on Kickstarter, and I think I had heard about another project that was on Kickstarter, as a matter of fact, Jim Starlin was doing for Dreadstar, and I got on, and I got into that, and I just kind of started scrolling through at the time. And that was it. I saw Fast Killer Sloth, and I was like, yo, I love Sloth. And I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, I got to check this out. So, you know, I started reading the page and everything like that, and immediately I was hooked. I told my girlfriend, I was like, we got to get this. I was like, we have to fucking get this. Like, this is great. And, you know, I shared it with, you know, Keys and, you know, as many other people as I could. And just because it was such a great premise for a story.
Thank you.
And, like, you know, we were talking, you know, in the backstage area, that, you know, it was surprising to me when I saw the Kickstarter, and it was only like $3,000 that was up there. And that seems to be one of your goals, is to get these comics out there too at a pretty reasonable price for people. So, yeah, you know, that's another added benefit to enjoying your work, which is already hilarious.
Thank you. Well, the thing is with comics, like comics are so damn expensive. Like they're fucking $10. Like, you know,
yeah,
exactly.
Whatever. I want to be able to, at least with my Kickstarters, like I want people to have fun. Like I want people to be able to be part of it. So like you can get killed by one. You can get killed by a zombie in this one. You can become a zombie yourself. You know, I had a tier where you and your significant other or your best friend, whatever you want to do, can be on the cover of Zombie Date Night 2, if this was funded. Like, I just want to be sure to have fun. Like, I feel like comics are kind of missing that. Like, people want to be serious. People want to write Batman, and all that stuff is great, and that's awesome. But it's like, man, comics used to be fun. Like, why can't comics be fun now? Like, it doesn't have to be it could be inclusive. It could be, you know, like a fun time. It could just be like a party that everybody's part of. That's what I want to do.
I think that's one of the main things I took away from Slowpoke, is it felt so like refreshing. It was just exciting the whole way through, from front to back. You could tell, like, you know, it's not a serious comic where, you know, like, oh my God, this is intense. It was just like,
yeah, it is not. It
was such a good time, the whole read. So
thank you.
Yep.
So and that's what I want to create. Like with Zombie Date Night, I'm like, you know what's happening here. It's like we're having fun. You're in on it. Like, let's have fun together, because life is too short for this stuff. Like last year during the pandemic, you know, there was so much like bad stuff that was happening and sad things. It's like, no, I want to create stuff that entertains people, and hopefully I get to do more stuff like that.
When I finished reading Slowpokes, immediately I went into our little group chat amongst Keys and Face and myself, and I'm like, guys, is there an issue 2? So now I'm gonna ask you, will we be getting a number 2?
So I will say this. There will be a Slowpokes 2 at some point.
Okay.
I'm still figuring out.
Oh,
But there will be. I will. People loved it so much. I have to come back. Also, people that backed the Kickstarter, they did a tier where they can get killed by Slowpokes. So I have to like them. I have to put out a Slowpokes 2, and I'm not sure when it's coming, but it's it's on my mind, and there will be a Slowpokes 2, and I'm making sure that people who back that want to get killed in the most brutal way possible.
Approximately how many people do you have to kill in the next issue?
I believe 10. So
we should add 3 more to this list, yo.
Yeah, we're going down.
Dude, yeah, that's gonna be a very action-packed issue. That's
yeah. Well, even funnier, my dad's from Dominican Republic. He doesn't really understand what this is. Like he's just like he always wants to support though. So with this, he's like, oh, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna get the highest tier. And I'm like, you know what the highest tier is, right? He's like, no, what? I was like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna murder you in my Slowpokes comic. So I am going to be murdering my dad in the next.
Oh wow!
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how you kill him. That's.
I definitely went. I'm looking at different possibilities. He has no idea what's coming, which is great. The best thing is like when people are in on it, that's even more funny. Like with Slowpokes, I adopted sloths as part of the campaign. Like I gave money to charity to like spiritually adopt these sloths. I wish I could really adopt sloth. So I told my mom. I was like, hey, I got some news for you. And she's like, what? She goes, I'm like, you're gonna be a grandma. She's like, what? She's like, you're gonna be a grandma. She's like, what? I'm gonna be a grandma. I was like, yeah, to these adorable baby sloths. Like, fuck you.
She must have wanted to kill you right there.
Yeah.
Right? All right, we got another question from chat. He was asking, is there a direct societal influence in your books? Like, are the zombies a metaphor for anything, or?
Yeah, I would say so. At least for zombie date night, zombies are a metaphor for, I guess, the scariness of dating. Like dating is scary. Like meeting new people is scary sometimes, and add that with zombies, then it's even more scary. So that's kind of where that came from. I just want to. I told a story where it's like, hey, this is a dating story that zombies are also part of, but like, you know what I mean? This is about the characters. And same thing with the Slowpokes. Like, this is about the characters, and there also happens to be fast killer slots in there. So, that's what I want to do. I want my stories to be character driven, and then just like there's also something else going on that adds to the drama, I guess.
Okay, so I'm curious, are there projects lined up beyond Zombie Date Night and Slowpokes? Is there some new projects that we can look forward to in the future?
Yes, definitely. I will talk with you guys offline about them. But there are some projects coming your way that I hope people will like. But we'll see. I want to get to Zombie Date Night first and see what the reviews are like for that, and make sure that I can break the sophomore slump. Because listen, I love Slowpokes, but I wanted to make sure that for that second one, it's like, all right, I want to make sure that I'm just not, let's go to Slowpokes 10. It's like, no. We'll get to Slowpokes 2. We'll get to more Slowpokes, but like I want to be able to show that like I could do more, and be able to excite people. So whenever I do these Kickstarters, people are like, "Oh shit, he's doing this. He's doing an alien comic, or he's doing this kind of comic, or doing kaiju comic, whatever that could be." I want to just keep people
giant fast killer sloths.
Listen, with the fast killer sloths, like I do want to use, and I haven't figured out how yet, but I do want to use those prehistoric sloths that are like 6 feet tall. Like I got to be able to do that. That has to happen.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my god!
So it's just putting the pieces together and seeing and making sure it's like the right time for certain things too. Like I think Zombie Date Night, this was the right time for it because so many different. Like I felt like zombies had their moment in the sun. And then kind of went away. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to bring it back. And then as I was doing stuff for this, like Army of the Dead came out, Resident Evil 8 came out, the sequel to Left 4 Dead came out.
I know, right?
Zombie movies are coming out, so I'm like,
they really are coming back. Like,
yeah.
Oh, there we go. We got a great suggestion in chat.
Yeah, this is an amazing suggestion.
Let's see.
Perfect. I mean,
hold on. I cannot see.
That's beautiful right there. Mech Sloth.
Mecha Sloth. That's definitely been on my mind. So it could happen. That's the best thing about Slowpokes is anything could happen within that universe because like there's fast killer sloths. Like why can't there be robots? Why can't they be in space? Why can't there be? You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna go until I can't go anymore. What if they've messed? You know, what if they linked up with Dominic Toretto and it's fast killer sloths?
Oh no,
I'm down. I'm down.
Hey, as long as they're family, they're gonna make
exactly. As long as they're family, that's all that matters. It can happen. This feels like a fucking merchandising franchise right here.
Yeah, with Slowpokes, the best thing too is the T-shirt. Like each time I could do another T-shirt and like get it more crazy as possible, I'm gonna do it. And luckily,
I know, right? I love my T-shirt. I love my T-shirt.
The artist who did that shirt, his name is his tag name is Vertebrae 33. He's done stuff for Hot Topic. He's doing crazy stuff. He just did a Rick and Morty shirt. He did a Star Wars shirt.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, with him, me and him are good friends. So, like, I'm always going to be like, go as crazy as possible. Like, do whatever you want. Like, this is what I'm kind of seeing. Like, go and do your thing. Like, the zombie date night shirt is two zombies on a date eating entrails. So, I'm like, you gotta do it. It's a zombie date night.
All right, and that's another one that I can't wait to get to add to the collection for sure. Actually, when I'm thinking about it, Keys, could you do me a favor and drop in chat the link to Steve's IG, and if you could maybe a Kickstarter page too for Zombie Date Night so that people have it. And
buddy, I'm on it.
I'll actually go back and try. I'm pretty sure I can go back and edit the description to add those too. I completely blanked out in putting them in there to begin with. You know, I guess they're
like swimwear.
Yeah, so you know, but we will definitely get it in there, and that's, you know, one of the things obviously that we want to do with this is to get, you know, your information out there so that people can look into this, because I mean, like I said, the Slowpokes was fantastic, and I have no doubt that Zombie Date Night's going to be, and everything else that you have slated for the future. One of the things that I got curious about when you had mentioned the bigger companies earlier was, do you have any desire to write for any of the bigger companies at any point, or is that something that you've ever given thought to or been approached about or anything like that?
So people keep asking me, and I'm like, man, like Slowpokes was good, but like I always want to make sure I get better with each one. So you know, for bigger companies, that would be cool. Like I'm open to any opportunity. If anybody wants me to write for them, or you know, is cool with what I do, great, let's talk. You know what I mean? I'm happy to do business, happy to do that. But right now I'm just having a blast. Like I just want to create comics that are fun. Like that is the plan. It doesn't matter, you know, I don't need the thing about Kickstarters this has taught me is that I don't need you know, a publishing company. I don't need any of that stuff. Like I'm able to do it on my own, and you know, luckily with Comics Experience, I'm able to work with them on stuff like the printing of it and making sure that the comic is good. So I just want to keep having fun. I mean, as long as I can keep doing that is my goal for this. Because like at least with comics, I don't have to worry about somebody being like, no, you can't do that, or no, that you know what I mean. That's basically my whole comics career. You can't do fast killer sloths. You can't do, you know what I mean. Like maybe zombies people would do, but I just don't want to. I want to be able to be creative and do my thing and not worry. So I'm going to keep going until I can't go no more. If people want to see me write stuff, just let me know, and we'll try to make that happen.
No, that's actually really cool. It's actually kind of refreshing to hear someone, you know, that's getting into this who's not like their end goal isn't to necessarily write for Marvel or DC, but to just put out good quality comics.
I think at least for this, like, it's more fun not knowing what could happen, because if somebody reaches out to me and wants to do, you know, I'm happy to work with them or whatever, cool. But like just to know that I'm creating something and people are excited and people are talking back and enjoying it and meeting people because of that. Like so for this Kickstarter, I'm doing Zombie Date Night Thursdays. And I invite you guys to come join us. We do a different zombie movie every week on Discord. So you don't have to back the comic. You don't have to do any of that stuff. I just want people to enjoy it. And if you want to watch a zombie movie, come on in.
Right. Oh, hell yeah. I'm definitely going to have to check this out for sure. I'm definitely down.
Cool.
So
yeah, and also
Thursday, what time?
Thursday, 8:30 Eastern.
8:30 Eastern?
8:30 Eastern, yes.
I'll pop
So
by.
I will absolutely.
Zombie movies every week. We did Zombieland the first week.
Good movie.
Okay.
Last week we did Alive, the South Korean zombie movie.
Nice.
And now this week, hold on, let me get the name of it so I don't butcher it. Even though, let's see what the name of this is. I remember it is Ladrones de Almas, which is a Spanish, zombie movie. So I haven't seen this movie. I have no idea if it's good or not, but I definitely want to just watch zombie movies and have fun and create a community.
It's a zombie movie. How bad could it be?
I mean, even if it's bad, we're experiencing it together.
Exactly.
That's a fun part. People can make their comments without ruining the movie. I'm a talker, and I definitely talk through movies, and I apologize, but at least with this, it's all right, if you want to watch the movie, you can watch the movie. If you want to read the comments, you can read the comments and have a blast.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a sweet idea.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to check it out.
Cool.
And that's something else that was really cool about you. And through all this was that you're really a very approachable guy. Like when I messaged you initially, because I messaged you about doing the interview for Slowpokes and everything, and then the show didn't quite get running in time. But yeah, like you were very approachable. Very easy to talk to and everything like that. So it's cool to see someone that's so interactive.
I am just a guy. Like I am one of you. I love comic books. I love superheroes. I grew up on all that stuff. I love storytelling. Anybody who wants to ask me for an interview, I'm going to do it. I want to make sure that I'm able to talk to people who are reading my stuff. Like I'm nothing without anybody reading my stuff. So and again, I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out. I just want to keep it going. Am I a Robert Rodriguez fan? Hell yeah, I'm a Robert Rodriguez.
All right.
I love it. I love Spy Kid.
Easy answer for that one.
I will add though, like you were just saying how you will continue going as long as you're having fun. You don't care, what direction you're headed in, as long as it's just fun, right? And I can't stress it enough. Reading the book, that's all I was getting from it is it's a blast, you know what I mean? So you can tell, like even as a reader, you had a blast putting that together. So
I think when people see that you put love in it, like if you're having fun, then other people are gonna have fun too.
Yeah.
And that's what I could see with this podcast too. You guys are having fun, everybody's having fun with you. So that's how everybody should approach things that, when they're trying to be creative. Just have fun. Like it's not about, you're doing this because you love it. You're not doing this because, I need it to be a certain way. It's like, no. Do it because you love it. Do what you want to do. Do what you have to do.
It's the mindset for a majority of people, even like musicians. I was there once upon a time, and once it started to get not fun, it was time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. Yep.
Great segue.
I hope this continues to be fun, and I'm going to keep having fun as long as I can.
For sure.
People are like, no more sloths.
If it's always that fun, it's gonna be a good time, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
So we were talking about theme songs in the backstage, classic theme songs. You just brought up music.
Yeah, man.
So I have to let the people know right now that there's a theme song to Slowpokes.
Oh,
that shit is fire. Fire. Bro, it's by Blake Rain.
It's hot fire. Blake Rains is the guy. That is my music guy. One of my best friends growing up. He has a studio in his house. Like he's worked with Universal Music. He's done stuff like that.
Nice.
So I knew when Slowpokes was coming out, I was like, all right, what's the most ridiculous things like we can do? Like what's, we need a shirt, we need a poster. I was like, this needs a song. I was like, this needs a theme song. I was like, this has to, why not? Because I feel like that'll get people interested and people be like, oh, that's funny. There's a theme song too. So I approached him and I was like, hey, Blake, like I want to make sure let's do this. And so he came up with like the producing of it, like the beat and everything. I helped do like the chorus of it. I was like, oh, it should be like this. Like I helped with some of the lyrics. and it is magic. Like what he can do, he's so goddamn talented that it's just like he came up with it, and I was like, that's it. Like he's watching you, and like that gets stuck in my head. And like he did not have to do it as great as he did, but he did a good job. And I'll always try to have music. Right now, we're trying to work on if there should be a zombie date night theme, just because I don't know if it needs it for this. Maybe for slow, if there's
something soft and romantic, maybe.
Yeah,
that first song is smooth.
It's got to be eerie.
That's the thing. Like it's just trying to find that right thing. So he's working on figuring it out. So hopefully we can figure it out before the Kickstarter ends. But I'm kind of thinking like a punk thing, because like I grew up in New Jersey, like a punk kind of song for zombie date night, like My Chemical Romance. It could be cool. But again, he's so talented. He'll figure it out. But again, I'm not sure exactly what the sound is for that. But when it does drop, if it drops before the Kickstarter, I will be sharing it with everybody. So
be honest, how many times were you driving through downtown blasting the Slowpoke
song? It'll pop up in the playlist, and I'll just be like, it gives me goosebumps, because I'm like, there's pieces of it that are just brilliant. Like it's not just like a regular song. It's not the same thing. Like he put drops in there. Like he put like, all right, we'll take a second here. Like, and for that, like that inspires me, because it's like if I'm creating, he's creating. That's what I want to keep doing. If I can inspire somebody to create something awesome and just keep going, like it keeps inspiring other people to create, then I did my job.
Damn straight, man.
We got another question in chat. They were asking if you pull weekly comics, and if so, what series do you enjoy reading? And then I had another question once you add that to add on to that once you answer that one. So.
Sure. So for I'm sorry to break hearts, but unfortunately, I use DC Unlimited and Marvel Unlimited DC Universe. So I don't go to the comic shop as much. I do try to back stuff on Kickstarter as much as I can, because I love the indie comics community and trying to support, because they support me. But I am just enamored with these apps now, where I could just go back to when I was a kid and be like, I could finish what I wanted to read. Because when you're a kid, you're like, all right, I have numbers 3, 4, 5, and then like something will happen, or like your money will run out, and you're like, ah, shit, like I'll go back to that.
Right.
But then you never do. And so like for now, I can do that with these apps. So like I loved Green Lantern growing up. Green Lantern, Kyle Rayner was my guy. Like he was my guy.
And I mean, in all honesty, I obviously we had talked, and I kind of already knew what your answer to that question was. But that being said, the digital and especially the Kickstarter and everything like that. I mean, like that shit, as far as I would concerned, like that all still, it's still the same as having a weekly pool, basically, because that money still goes to support the industry and everything.
Yeah.
So that being said, what are your what comics were you interested in? Like what got you reading or excited when you were a kid, or like, because I have a feeling that you have a horror influence sometimes too.
Here's the thing with comics. I was as squeaky clean as you can get. Like I love Spider-Man. I love like the Green
all the nice characters.
Superman, all the nice characters. Spider-Man was my guy, because I felt like I could relate. I feel like everybody could relate to Spider-Man.
Right.
Because like he didn't have it right. Like he was always in a rush. Like he was always trying to get it figured out. And like as a kid growing up, like, what could I do? And then you love redheads too on top of that. You're like, well, But yeah, the horror stuff didn't come until later. Like the horror stuff came in because it was just like I wanted to do something different, and like the Fast Killer Sloth just seemed like something fun to write. And then as I was writing it, I was like, I'm kind of fucked up. Like there's a lot of I'm like, man, like this is if I told my kid self that I wrote a comic book and what it was about, I would have never thought like this was gonna happen. But like
when you hit that self-realization, isn't it?
It is like it's crazy. Like now and it's awesome, because people will send me texts, people buy me merch, like people buy me like a Sloth, anything Sloth related, I will get stuff for. So it's cool. It's all positive. But like in terms of comics, like I just always liked Spider-Man. I always liked Green Lantern, and right now, I'm going back through. So I'm going on Marvel Unlimited and I'm going alphabetically because I have such a hard time just picking what to write or what to read because there's so much good stuff out there. So like I read like 1802. There was like a comic about tennis called 15 Love. Like I've just I'm trying to figure it all out. Like there's so much good stuff, and I'm like, wait, there's a colonial version of the X-Men. Like, all right, I'm going there. There's this. Like it just.
Oh yeah, that 1602 series.
There's so much. There's just so much. But
I think Gaiman did that too.
Yes, he did. I'm a big fan of his. I like his books as well. But I also like Garth Ennis because like Garth Ennis just surprises. Like the shit he does is violent, and it is just surprising. Like Preacher is awesome. Like
Preacher is great.
Preacher is one of my favorite comics of all time, and if I could come up with something, close to Preacher, where it's like, hey, this is something that people like, and it's violent, and it's it makes people feel something, then that's my goal. That'd be cool.
I definitely think you've got it in you. You're fucked up more than enough.
Yeah, great.
Preacher's a great read. I could definitely see you getting into writing something like that. I mean, I can see a lot of they're not. I don't know if similarities is the right word, but stuff that's in the same vein in Slowpokes. And
I would be interested in writing like a familiar character, like what someday down the line, just because it just seems like a challenge. It seems like a fun challenge to do. Like, and for me, like I have so many ideas in terms of like horror movies or horror comics and things like that. Like Freddy Krueger, it's a shame that he hasn't come back. Like, you know what I mean? Like they haven't really done a new Freddy Krueger. They did the remake, and that was what it was. But it's just like, there's so much that can be done. Like I had an idea where it would be like Inception, where like people are going into the dream, and then you find out that they're not going into the dream just because they're going in there to kill Freddy Krueger. Like I think that'd be a fun
thing.
Like you know what I mean? Like
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that approach.
What do you think the reason horror comics are getting popular? I think people there's so much bad shit going on. People just want something to like clutch onto, or like they want something to release that, I guess, the anger, which is kind of messed up, but it's just
right.
Yeah,
purge a little bit.
Like so for me, with the purge movie, I want to make a purge movie where it's all the crimes that aren't violent. Like it's just like you know what I mean, like
right.
All the minor crimes, like you know what I mean, like somebody parking into space. You know what I mean?
Jaywalking,
like you know what I mean? Like these are the purgers that are like, listen, they're killing people too far. But like, what can we do? Like people I feel like would just have parties and stuff like that. It's like, we're not killing people. Get out of here. We'll just smoke weed and
right.
So like, or go and shoplift someplace. I think that's what there'd be more of than killings. So I always thought that would be like a funny idea, like purge. I was like, purge night. Just some guys like shrieking. They can't do anything about it.
I can see that. I can see that as a premise for sure.
If it features Karate Carlos,
anything featuring Karate Carlos.
He's a sensei.
Oh, Sensei! Sorry, Sensei Carlos. This is him in the future.
Carlos. Hey, listen, you gave me an idea that maybe as these slowpokes going on, he'll just increase in belt.
Right.
until he could until he's just like meditating.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah,
one-on-one fight.
Super Saiyan Carlos. Oh wait, no, that's trademarked. I'm sure that's trademarked.
Yeah, no, Carlos could end the sloths.
He could. He's a karate shop just doing all the sloths. But like with slowpokes, I want to just go as crazy as possible because it's like this is fun. You know what I mean? I've already established this. Like, let's have more fun.
Yeah,
I support that entirely.
If you could write a comic, well, what property would you guys write?
Oof.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and let Keys and Black Crown answer this first.
Everybody and their mom knows my answer except for Steve here. There's a character at Marvel that doesn't get the shine he deserves. His name is Dupe. He's a little green Slimer-looking blob that can travel through universes and time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's wicked. He's friends with like Wolverine, and he's super powerful. He 1v1 Thor in a fight, and like he had one miniseries. That was it. So now I think I could take over it. I think I got it in me.
I think with all this IP, like I just feel like there's so many good ideas I hear. Like I just want to see all these things. Maybe Marvel should do an imprint where it's like, listen, let's call it fan service, right? We will make your idea, but like we'll be able to sell it if it does well, we'll continue it. If not, that's it. But like fan service, we'll pair you up with an artist, we'll pair you up with a writer, and we'll work it out.
I like that idea. That's not bad. I'm gonna need an artist, so.
Black Crown, what would you write?
I don't know, man. On my end, it's like, I mean, if you would have went back a few years ago, I'd be like, yo, Spider-Man and then. But like, as I'm getting, to read the current series of what's going on, I feel like the new wave of characters is definitely where we need to focus because some of them are just getting stale. But I guess somebody like, I think Franklin Richards, they just developed Dylan, you know what I mean? And with Venom, and Franklin is like my next focus. I would put some focus there. I think that's somebody I would want to write about.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's not bad.
All right, Face. Let's go.
I think I would want to write my own thing, man. I think I would kind of want to follow in your vein and probably do my own thing on Kickstarter or something like that. If I were gonna
I will. Anything you guys do, I will back
it. You know what?
I don't know that it would be good, but
Slowpokes. I didn't think it was going to be good. It was fine as long as you're talking as yourself. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's one of the best things about Kickstarter is that it's given so many people the opportunity to, to bring their ideas and their creativity to life and to put it out there. And it seems like like it's really worked for some people. I mean, there's some people that have gotten huge breaks off of Kickstarter that broke into the bigger companies later, or like you that had successful launch with like Slowpokes, and it looks like I'm pretty sure Zombie Date Night's headed the same way if it hasn't already hit its goal. I'm pretty sure it's going to. So.
For me, I always just want to make sure, like, this is you're back. Everybody who's backing, it's just you're putting into my creator fund. Like, I'm not taking this money for myself. I'm not getting like a fur sloth coat. That would be the most diabolical shit ever. We're just like, yeah, I took your money and now I got the sloth coat. As long as
I would I'd almost be willing to give that shit a pass. You know what? Yeah, he deserves a sloth coat.
he has grills that say Slowpokes.
Right? As long as it was something that cool, I'm down with it.
As long as people keep wanting me to create, I'm going to keep doing that. That is the point of this. Like I want to make sure that this isn't muddled by money or like dumb bullshit or like, oh, you need to do no. Like this is to make sure that people are entertained and to keep the entertainment going.
Yeah, definitely, man. And another thing I noticed that was really cool is they like you actually you took the time to you're signing the comics too. That, people
that to me is the greatest thing because my autograph doesn't like to me. I'm like, what? Like you want my autograph? I was like, you sure you're not just trying to steal my bank information? Like, so for me, like. That's just the cool thing. Like people want it signed, I'll sign it for whoever. I'll sign, whatever you want me to do. It's just very crazy because like I never thought anybody would want my autographs. People have the Slowpokes on their wall and stuff like that. I'm like, what? Like you sure?
I have it on my wall.
Thank you. I listen. That to me right here. That hits me right here. It means that I'm doing something right. I'm going to continue doing it because like. It's such a positive thing, especially coming out of the pandemic where everything was negative. For comics people to be so kind and caring and nice, it's awesome. It's such a great feeling to know that. And I want to make sure that people listening, even you guys, you said you want to do a comic, go through comics experience. Like I will back it. Like you don't have to be afraid. I will back it. You will have at least one backer, and that is me. You'll have 3 backers, your friends too. But
there you go.
I got you. Anybody who creates, I'm on board, no matter what it is. As long as it's not, racist or any, crazy bullshit. Like I mean, good crazy bullshit, not crazy.
Right. Yeah. Facts.
How?
Everybody in the chat, we got 39 days left. 39 days to go back this project. You guys know what to do.
This is the summer of Zombie Date Night. We're going to be watching zombie movies. We're going to be having fun. So please join us. Just keep it going. Keep spreading the word.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the other thing. Even if you whenever you're looking at Kickstarter or whatever, and this is speaking to like our viewers and everything like that. Even if there's a project that you can't support for whatever reason, one of the best things that you
spread the word. As long as you keep spreading the word,
share it. Yeah, exactly. To put the information out there, because maybe you can't back it, but maybe somebody that you share it with can, and and that's the difference between getting that project off the ground or not. So, by all means, every time you're looking at Kickstarter or something like that, if you see something you like, at the very least, share it. And I think that's the least that we can do in the comic community for the creators like you guys, because I mean, you guys are doing it for us. You make these comics for us, and we appreciate it, and that's a good way of showing appreciation for it.
Well, I appreciate anybody who even whether it's $1, $3, $100, whatever, like just the fact that somebody took the time to say, hey, this looks like something that I would want to read. That means so much to me, because as a writer, people tell me like, oh, you're doing a good job and things like that. It's like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, everybody I think feels that imposter syndrome at some point, where it's like, I don't know if I'm on this level yet, but I just want to climb. I just want to keep going and seeing where I can go. But like to those who are, thinking it's imposter syndrome, anything like that, you're not an imposter, you're an inspiration because you're doing it. You know how many people don't do it? Like you're doing what you're doing. Like just to get to a comic and like to make it done, that takes such a long time to do. The fact that you're putting something out and people are reading it, whether it's positive or negative, you're doing it. So, keep going, keep figuring things out, and you can do it. If I can do it, if I can make something about fast killer sloths, you can definitely make something better. Like you can definitely make something that is
I don't know if there's anything better than fast killer sloths.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
But like, keep going. Just do it. Like, you know what I mean? There's no, you're dead longer than you're alive. So you might as well just get to it and start figuring it out now. There's always a way.
For sure. Another question that I wanted to ask while we had you on here is, do you have any plans for any conventions or any appearances anywhere or anything like that?
So I did get asked to do New York Comic Con with the person who does my shirts, Vertebrae 33. He always has a booth at Comic Con, and we've been discussing it. But it's just looking at just this COVID situation, whether or not because we both have families we got to worry about and things like that. So it's just weighing those things out. But I definitely want to do some Comic Cons. I am itching to get in there because I don't know what that experience is like. Like people are talking about BarCon and all these things, and I'm like, this could be cool. Like this sounds like a nice way to meet people, to introduce people to what I can do, and to talk to people who have read my stuff one-on-one. So I'm excited. Also, I want to do horror cons too. Like I feel like that's even crazier. The horror, the horror community is so fucking nice. Like you would like the people with the like tattoos and like their gauges and stuff like that. They're the sweetest people in the whole world. So especially, it's just funny with like the Slowpoke's Instagram is at like 3,000 viewers, and there's people that are on there like supporting it. It's just I'm like, wow, like I never thought I would have a conversation with somebody like this, or I never thought anybody would flock to it. But like the horror people are so nice, and I just like having both genres to move in and out of, because everybody has such a different point of view about the stuff that I'm doing.
And the irony too, right? The horror people, so nice.
Yeah, they're super nice, right? Incredibly nice. I mean, comics people are nice too, but like the horror, like I was like, these people look scary, but they're not scary. They're
yeah, for sure.
I probably look scary to them. They're like, who is have any piercings or anything? Like, what are you doing?
Oh man, that's unreal. Man, that's unreal.
This whole experience has been unreal. Like talking to people who have read my stuff. Like I did a podcast where they went through the characters and were like, man, I related to this because of this. And it brought up memories of this. And I'm like, what? Like, I just didn't think there was so much like surface stuff. I was like, oh, it's Fast Killer Sloth. Here are the characters that I like. The people are responding to it very positively and like giving me the giving me the details of like how it's helped. Somebody wants a Slowpoke's tattoo. I'm like, be
that's wild.
Yes.
I was like, make sure that's something that you want to do. I encourage it. If you want to get one, great. But like, just think about it. Make sure it's something that you consult with your wife or kids.
I think that's the beautiful thing is when you're having fun putting this together, you don't think of all the domino effect on how it's gonna touch people, and then when you get that, man, it must be like.
Oops, sorry, you guys froze for a second. It might be my connection.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No, that's my fault, probably.
So we got Kamikaze. He's asking, how long was the creative process on, your comics? I guess. So like, how long I guess does it take to put one together from start to finish?
So
about.
I would say a month, maybe 2. Just because I feel like when I have a project going, I'm just always thinking about it. Like there's always just something in my mind. Even before I go to bed, I'll just jot down ideas, and then when I get like pen to page, I'm able to be like, all right, I'll do an idea dump first, or it's just like, all right, maybe this will be funny, or like we'll put it in here for now, and then after that, you create an outline because that's like your map. That's like your map when you're writing, because if you don't follow the outline, then if you're just going, it's going to be harder to come up with your comic. Yeah. So I come up with an outline featuring those ideas. As that's happening, then my girlfriend will kind of put deadlines on me. So like she'll be like, all right, 10 pages by Saturday. Like, okay. And then we'll go over it together. So she actually edited my zombie date night book because I was like, this will be hilarious if I got my girlfriend to again, not hilarious because she's good. She's good at what she does. Right. She can edit and write. But it would be hilarious because like we're doing a podcast that comes with the Kickstarter where we're going to talk about like the behind the scenes of zombie date night, the ideas where I'm like, oh, let's do this. And she's like, well, that's cool, but like, let's smooth this out and let's try to put this here. Like she'll always try to be accommodating, but she'll be like that. If it doesn't make sense or if it's too crazy or if it's ridiculous for no reason, then there's no point to it. So I'm able to do that. So she'll give me like some deadlines of like, 10 pages here, 10 pages there. And then after that, that's when I start cutting it down, just rereading it. I'll do the voices as the characters just to make sure that they sound right. And then after that, it's smooth sailing. I send it out, and I'll go through Comics Experience. They'll look at it too, and if there's any problems, they'll cut it down. But so far, so good. So Zombie Date I took, I think I started in October once Slowpokes ended, and then I finished it in December, and then I got it out. Yeah, I got it out I think by December, and then it was getting worked on, and it's still getting worked on. That lettering just needs to be done. Okay. And then it should be out by the time the Kickstarter ends.
Thanks. So I had a question, but you just said something that I gotta ask this first. Sure. You said you do the characters' voices, so I gotta know, what does Karate Carlos sound like?
Yeah. Karate Carlos sounds like the real guy, so he sounds like this. Kind of like Danny Trejo. I was thinking.
Okay. Oh, that's almost exactly. Yeah, that's about what I figured.
Yeah. So definitely that. But yeah, I try to do the voice, just even the language, just making sure that they sound authentic or they sound like how they should sound. Because that to me is the worst when characters sound the same. Where it's like, and that could happen too during the writing process. So you just got to kind of like spice up the language as much as you can.
Man, you did a great job there, because
thank you.
The language and the words they use is what really drew me in. So
it's funny. The older people who read it said that they were turned off by it because of the language. And younger people were like, "This is awesome. This is how people talk. Like this is how it should be." So it's very funny just to hear that. So it was like Zombie Date Night. There is some of that, but I did take into mind. I'm like making sure that at least people can follow what's going on. But I did show Slowpokes to my mom, which was probably one of the most hilarious things. She goes, "What's a chubby?"
Oh, that's great.
And I had to explain. But the writing process, I just feel like a faucet sometimes, and like it's just all in there. And then when it's time to write, it's just taking time to write and then put it down. It all come out and just kind of putting the puzzle pieces together.
So have you given any consideration to doing like your own weekly or not weekly, monthly or bi-monthly comic or anything like that?
The thing that's the tough part is that just with comics experience, is finding the artists. It takes time, and they're busy too doing their own thing. So maybe if I find an artist that I can be friendly with or that I'm friends with, and that can go at that speed, that would be cool. But right now I'm trying to get as many, I'm trying to make sure I'm creating and trying to get stuff done. But it's just a matter of the process, which is sometimes
right.
It just takes time sometimes.
And how is that process? Collaborating with an artist or whatever. Because I don't know. Have you had any projects before Slowpokes or anything?
No, Slowpokes was my first comic, my first career.
Okay, yeah. So these are your first projects. So how is that trying to coordinate early in your career with getting artists on your series and everything like that?
So going through Comics Experience has just been the easiest thing because they have a creative services program where if you pay a certain amount of money, they'll find you an artist, they'll find you the inker, they'll find you the colorist. It'll be like a complete package. So that way I don't have to worry about like hunting people down or anything. They have so many people in their stable of creators and artists and things like that. And even like people who haven't really done anything yet, it's like giving them the opportunity. So for me, I always want to be able to give opportunities to anybody, like just based on their art. But like Slowpokes, they found Juan Romero. I saw the style. Originally, there was another guy that I looked at for Slowpokes that was a more darker and like gothic style. Like it would have been a completely different thing. Like, and I'm so glad that I found Juan Romero, and they pointed me in his direction because it would have just been a different comic. It would have felt like. It wouldn't have felt right, I don't think. Maybe it would have been different, and probably the art would have been definitely cool. It just would have been, this tells you exactly what this is. So they paired me up for Zombie Date Night with Sergey Domenik, and like Anthony Rella on the letters, edited by my girlfriend, Joshua Jensen for the colors. They found those people for me, and like they made sure they were like, hey, what do you think about this? And I was like, absolutely, let's go with this. I also work with Paul Allower, who writes Hollow Heart, and he wrote some G.I. Joe comics. So I have a very good network now, where it's like, hey, they'll talk to me, and I'll be like, all right, I'm kind of feeling this, and they have a pretty good sentiment about like, all right, yes, let's try this artist. But I'm always open to anybody who is, wants a shot, or I'm always open to work with Comics Experience with new artists, because it's just, if something is right, then it's right. Like you just know. I feel like you just know. With Zombie Date Night, once I saw his art, Sergey's art, I was like, this is the one. Like this is it.
I think that's what stands out also with Slowpokes is like the story and the art is just like, it was perfectly meshed together.
Yeah, it worked. It worked out
definitely.
They found everybody, because like comics is a team sport. Like everybody tries to do that bullshit where it's like, oh, the writer is more important. The artist is more important.
The
arter. You know what I mean? That maybe
the arter is very important.
Arters are very important.
They're hard to find.
They're hard to find, those arters. But it's a team sport. So like, I'm nothing without these artists. I'm nothing without the letterer. Because if one thing sucks, or if one thing isn't done correctly, the whole comic suffers for that. So I want to make sure that it's a team sport. Everybody's able to be creative and fun and do what they want to do, and still within the confines of the story.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You've mentioned that this company, Comic Experience, I think you said is the name of it.
Yes, this is the school.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome to hear of a school that's supporting so many different creators and everything like that to help them out.
When you're looking to work in comics or to write in comics, it's hard because all these schools are for art people, and
right.
Great, but like I can't draw. Like why can't there be writing and art? Like you would make so much more money because there's so many more people that you can get for this. So if you're a comic school out there, bring in the artists, bring in the writers, bring in both. I think you need both. And like I feel like finding, like, how do you even break in if you're a writer?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like you have to make comics. That's fine, but like, why don't they have these schools that teach that? So Comic Experience, is great in that way, and it's done on your time. So if you want to do their courses, you can join live via your computer, or if you're working or something's happening, you can just go back and just do the homework and just go back on the class later. So it's very accommodating, and I think there should be more of that.
For sure, that's actually something that I'm gonna have to check out at some
Do
point.
it. It is definitely worth it, because at first I was like, I'm going to be exposed as a writer, but everybody's so welcoming and so kind, and also you get workshops. So while you're doing, let's say you do your 20-page class, you're getting people who are giving you good feedback, and it's not we're like, oh, this sucks, this is blah blah blah. It's like, all right, this is cool, but like, can we work on this, or like, can we figure it out? It's very positive. It's not negative in any way. So and that definitely helps the process.
Speaking about positive negative. Speaking about positive negative, gotta bring it up, man. What was I love that little 5-page comic you did.
Awesome, cool.
That was unreal. Tell us a little bit about that, man.
Yeah.
So that was my first my 5-page. I took the 5-page course at Comic Experience, and that was my first thing that I did. So I loved it because I was like, oh, I'm a pug guy. My family has a pug, and so that's where neutral comes from.
Yeah.
Neutral comes from that, and just I always had this idea, like, what if the villain took out the hero? What would happen? And I thought with those characters, like, you could have fun with it. And people wanted that to be a little bit longer too, but I was like, for a 5-page, I think this works for this.
It worked.
And if it does well or people like it, I will gladly go back to those characters and try to figure out, because like a pug, an evil pug, like, people will love that. Like,
I mean, that kind of makes sense though.
Man.
Yeah.
Your writing style is totally different on those two books, man. Totally positive. It's so like punny, like tongue-in-cheek punny, man. And then I read Slowpokes after. I'm like, this is the same guy. This is the same guy.
It's very different feel.
So that's the plan. Like, I want to make sure that I shift my writing style and challenge myself and do stuff that's different, because it's more fun that way. Like, if it's like, oh man, he did a superhero thing too. Like, I just want to keep it fun. But like, that's where that comes from. And just like, I was like, right, if you have the characters of, you have somebody who's positive, you have a negative, and then neutral is the middle. I thought that would be funny, like the pug as neutral.
So what?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just wanted to say thanks for actually mentioning the school, because sincerely, I had absolutely no idea such a place existed. And I think, like, literally as a reader, I think everyone at one point feels like, man, I just thought of a sick idea and whatnot. So it's cool that you even told us about that. I had no idea prior.
Well, because I'm like you guys, like, I have ideas all the time, and it's like, I need a place to put them. Yeah. And again, some people do it music, some people do it with short stories and fiction and all that stuff. But like with comics, I found my medium. I'm able to figure out, I'm able to be myself without worrying about anything. Like, I'm just like, all right, because Slowpokes, it's like fast killer sloths, that's the line. So if that's the line, I should be able to be fine in terms of like weaving in and out of the comic medium.
Yeah. And like you said, it seems like it's easier as an artist to, get a break in comics and everything, because, you kind of just,
it's a visual
as an artist, just put your work out there and it'll draw attention to itself, right?
I'm sure with the way the comics industry is now, like, that's an easier way to get in art. I mean, I'm sure that's hard too, in terms of writing. Like art, you see it. That's it. It's a 5-second thing. You're like, all right, good. With writing, you have to read the whole thing, and some people just don't. Some people don't do it.
Right, because as an artist, you can put your stuff out there easier, on IG and Facebook and everything like that. As a writer, you got to get people to actually read the fucking thing.
Exactly. So that's with Slowpokes. I was like, nobody's going to read a comic, at least from me. Nobody's going to read a comic unless there's something to pull you in. So I need a hook. So like fast killer sloths, no matter where you come from, something that's going to pull you in, because you're going to be like, what is this? I got to see what this is.
Right. Yeah, and it works. It works.
Yeah.
And now I opened the forbidden door. Now like Slowpokes and now zombies. So it's just a good, and now that leaves it open for other comics too.
So just a question: when you dropped this, like, did you think you'd be reaching, let's say, fans in Canada, like us over here?
Oh yeah, we're up north, yeah.
Right?
Not at all. the fact that people are nervous to talk to me, I'm like, I'm just the guy. Like this, I mean, I'm just the guy with the sloth idea. You know what I mean? Like that's it. No, it was crazy. Like I got orders from Croatia and Thailand and Malaysia is like somebody wrote me from Malaysia. They have the only copy of Slowpokes in Malaysia. And they wrote me. They said they're like, oh, this was the highlight of my summer. I was like, what? I mean, the pandemic happened too, so I get that. But like, it just people have been so positive, and it's just been awesome. Like I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. And the fact that I'm able to make a go at this and talk to people and that it's just people from different backgrounds too. It's like, oh, there's horror people, there's comic people, there's women and gay people and trans people. Like it's very cool to see that I've made a mark on these people, or people are at least interested in checking it out, which is very nice.
So okay, I gotta ask, what would your superhero be if you were writing a superhero? Like, what type of superhero would we see from, the guy that gave us Fast Killer Sloth?
I mean, that's a tough one, because I mean, like, so I always had an idea where it's so in Marvel it was Snap, right? Like they have Snap, everybody disappears. I want to see a thing. Maybe I'd pitch this to Marvel, where there's like a D+ kind of superhero that's like left behind that kind of benefits from this. Like, I mean? Like,
I got it.
That like benefits from this. Like all the superheroes are gone. Like his wife was mean to him and everything like that. And like now she's gone because of the blip. It's like, oh man, things are great. Like, oh everything is good. Like there's no traffic anymore. Like this is the best. And then at the end, everybody comes back and they're like, fuck, look, come on.
So the Thunderbolts?
Yeah, probably.
Oh man. Oh.
Thunderbolts is
no, they were.
Follow me on this one. Follow me on this one. The
All
Council of Reeds, right?
Uh-huh.
Everybody knows Reed Richards, the council. They're so smart. The one dumb one that somehow got into the council. He's the only one left, but he's the stupid Reed. That's a book.
The story that Keith wants to write.
I always thought that would also work with like I know it's a different universe, but like Booster Gold is like perfect for that. Where like all the superheroes are gone, and he's the last one left. He's like,
right.
Okay, all right. I got to figure out like with powers and things like that, but that would be my pitch as a superhero, because I think it's just interesting. Everybody has so many different powers under the sun. I would have to think about that, but I guess that's what I would do, even though it's not a good answer to your question.
No, it actually is. I mean, it's funny because like superhero comics, it seems.
Okay, wait, I got one for you. Okay, so when I was taking the comics courses, I was working with like a writing partner for my job. I'm a copywriter for an entertainment company, and I was talking to them about like what kind of powers people would have, and I was like, oh, what if somebody just had like hammer hands? Like that's it, like that's their power. Like, most useless power in the world. Like what would that's basically what I would do. Where it's just like he has to go to support groups every week with people who have terrible powers, and it's just like the hammer hand until one day.
I would read that comic.
You can kind of bring in what I was talking about before, like this blip happens and like D+ celebrities, and like they're the heroes for once, and like I just think that could be very funny. There was I said, what about a guy who could just like tell time? Like he doesn't go back in time. That's it. He can just tell you what time it is. So like if he
doesn't need a clock at all. He just knows.
3:15.
Yeah, or like somebody who somebody who could just like tell when somebody's about to fart. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like their power.
That's their superpower. Get the fuck out of Dodge.
At the end of it, he finds his place, like he could smell like cancer. You know what I mean? Like maybe that'll be like. So yeah, if I create a superhero, it'd just be something ridiculous and something that like makes that person the way that they are, and like is accepted the way that they are.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna leave this sit down disappointed that this is not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, I think I would read all of these.
Maybe I'll have to visit that.
This sounds like a superhero team.
Yeah, there's some ideas that I have been like stewing on. So maybe that'll come to fruition one day. But I'm more interested in characters that don't have it all. You know what I mean? Characters that have a change, like have a nice change of pace, and Because that interests me. That makes it more interesting in a comic. Because if a comic is like Superman, where he has all the powers and all things, and he's not vulnerable, which is what makes Superman work, because he is vulnerable. It's not going to work.
It's like Peter Parker, but like with a shittier life.
Except he has hammers for hands, and he can't.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Fart senses.
Isn't that like what would you do in your real life if you just had hammers for hands? You'd be like. You'd have to work at Home Depot. That's it.
Right. Hey, I mean, I guess at least you'd have job security.
I guess. I bet in construction, but he'd be like, I have hammer hands, but I can write plays. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just hammer hands. I could do more.
So, yeah. I guess we're getting about an hour and 20 minutes in. Our shows usually end up around about an hour and a half or so. So
listen, I'm here for you guys. I made tonight for you. Anything you want to ask, I'm open.
Was your grandma the inspiration to the
Hell
grandma?
Yeah.
All right.
My grandma would beat my ass with the chancleta sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it just
right.
I felt like that's.
Oh,
I'm like,
out the way.
if I'm doing a zombie invasion, it's like it has to be ridiculous too. So I'm like, all right, what could I do? And that's happened to me before on a date. Actually, one of my first dates growing up, like when I was 17, where I told my dad, I was like, all right, I'm going on this date. You know, I'm going to be honest with you because I need the car. You know what I mean? I don't want to lie. Like, let's start this off right. You know what I mean? Let's figure this out.
Man.
That way I don't have to sneak around or anything like that. Or like, I could tell you where I'm going without scaring anybody. And he's like, okay, no problem. Okay. So I go on this date. I had asthma at the time. So like I had to go out. It was spring. So it was a lot of pollen and shit in the air. Mm-hmm. So like I went to my car to get my inhaler. And I go home and my parents are like, oh, how's the date? I was like, oh, it was good. They're like, oh, why'd you go outside? I was like, what? They followed me. They went to the date.
No.
They went to it. Yes. And they saw me. They went. I told them where I was going. They went to the same movie theater. So like I have that in the comic where the grandmother was curious about her grandson about how the date's going to go. So, you know, you need to have the chunk like that. But that happened to me in real life. And that broke all the trust because I was like, I'm not ever again.
Man, so this date literally took your breath away. That's amazing.
It did. Well, yeah, literally took my breath away. And
literally,
my parents like made me feel embarrassed. I was like, why are you there? Why are you? They could have just not said anything. You know what I mean? They could have just let it go. But they had to know. They had to figure out. They're like, oh, let's go to the same movie theater that they're going to. Wow. Let's get a glimpse.
All right. Well, since you got time to chill with us a little bit, I want to get an opinion question. What is your opinion on like kind of I guess like the state of the hobby today and like the explosion of comics, especially like if you look at like the back issue prices and stuff like that, the number of fans that have gotten into it. You know, a lot of people are saying that it may just be a bubble. There's a lot of people out there that think that this is kind of like the new normal. I tend to think that there's more of a middle ground, but what's your opinion on it? How do you feel about the hobby in general?
I think comics, you're always going to have somebody that finds it. You know what I mean? That somebody that's going to be, the door's going to be open. And then once you add like a collecting thing to it, people are always going to collect stuff. Like look at the Funkos. Like I thought the Funko thing, the bubble would burst eventually. People still love the Funkos. Right. People still love comics. People are still being introduced to them. The only thing is, I wish comics were more accessible because it's like if you know, like I guess with the movies they're a little bit more accessible, but there's so much good stuff that you're missing. Not just the mainstream or not just Captain America, not just that. So I feel like if you're doing these things, why not put during the movies? Why not sell comics before the movie? Why not put that with the popcorn? Why don't you get one? You know what I mean? As you're getting popcorn and stuff like that. Like you gotta find that gateway to bring people in. And I know there's the shows. I mean that helps and the movies help, but it's just you need to. I wish it was more accessible or it was more like, because it's more accepted now than it was. Because I remember going to Comic-Cons when I was a kid, and it was just like 10 people there, 15 people. Now it's a whole thing. And like people cosplay, and I mean that's the goal for me. If somebody wants to cosplay as a Slowpoke, I'm all in. I'm all in on that because that would be.
I will absolutely wear a sloth mask. I mean, that's kind
that
of
would be cool. Because that's what I plan to do whenever I go to my first con. I definitely want to dress up like a sloth and just walk around and see what happens. It's like, what's the worst that could happen? But
right.
I just think, but I do hate the predatory part of comics where, hey, we're gonna just change the color and sell it for $200 more or whatever. That to me is just like you're ripping people off, and at the same time you're creating. Because listen, people who collect stuff have some sort of OCD and they want them all. They want it all. You know what I mean? They want it all. So like for them to do that, it's just mean. That's just a mean thing to do.
Hey, I absolutely agree with you because I am definitely one of them collectors with that stupid ass OCD that just.
Yeah, like I agree with you, but I'm also guilty on the other end. So
I'm guilty of it. I mean, I buy them. They damn sure get me to buy them. It is what it is.
For me, I'm like, oh, all right, we have the Sloth poster, right? It's like, all right, if I turn them red, will people want that too? Like, I'm not going to tell them.
Apparently, that's the thing. I mean, you can sell that for a premium. Get the version of it.
Yeah,
even more.
But that's my opinion on that. I also think that just there's so much, and a lot of it is very good, but there's a lot of stuff where it's just like,
yeah,
do we need 10 Spider-Mans where it's like he's amazing, he's spectacular, he's fast. There was like super fast Spider-Man or something like that.
Yeah, nonstop.
Nonstop Spider-Man.
That was a great title.
Yeah, it's just like and again, these things could be good, but like I don't have the time. I don't know where to start, and like I don't want. You need to make the decision for us. Sometimes there's like, this is the Spider-Man. You're reading this one. That's it. Buy it.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I will say that I find, like, especially since the pandemic hit, like, yeah, the market's like oversaturated. There's so many comics, but I really feel like it was a good year for indie. Indie really like started to get more exposure. I don't know if it's because people had obviously more time on their hands, but I find myself buying more indie books than I do Marvel and DC. So
hands down, no debate.
I think Kickstarter should start their own comic company, and I don't know why they haven't. Because
not a
right? Yeah, that's something that you would think.
That's actually
you know who your people are because you know that they'll sell comics for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why not help them out a little bit more and like get some paid? Like, if you start a comic company, you had freaking what's his name, Keanu Reeves doing comics. So if they started their own company, they'd be able to get celebrities and stuff involved with it, and I feel like it'd be able to grow at a decent rate instead of just like oversaturating. And also, if they own IP, that will help them in the future.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned celebrities and comics and everything like that, and Keanu Reeves is a perfect example. Had the big release with Berserker and everything like that. Emilia Clarke, she's was Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Mother of Dragon. I love Emilia Clarke. She's awesome.
Yeah, she's got some secret role. Crossing her fingers that it's Abigail Brand in the Marvel universe is coming up. But she's actually writing a comic too that's coming out from Image. It's called like Mother of Madness or something like that.
The character is just something different, like it's just Howard the Duck or the Slug that you showed me.
Yeah, so
why not? Because you'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because you do see more celebrities getting into comics and everything. So my question is, if you had any celebrity that you could collaborate on a comic with, just dream celebrity, who would it be?
Oh, that's a hard question, man.
That's a hard question,
right?
I mean, I love Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is my guy. Like when I was growing up, like Dave, Silent Bob, all that stuff. If I got to work with him or just pick his brain about the creative process, that'd be awesome. But in terms of like a current celebrity, let's see. I mean, you can't go wrong with The Rock. The Rock is the man. Like, I feel like that guy can do everything.
Yeah.
If I was able to do a comic with The Rock, I mean, obviously, I'm going to sell 1 million copies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That guy too. Let's see. I got to think about this, but like those are the two. I also like. Yeah. How about you guys? Who would you want to work with? Maybe it'll get some ideas going.
I'm thinking about Slowpokes, and I'm just seeing Seth Rogen. I'm just seeing Jonah.
I'd love to work with them.
That whole crew right there.
Yeah. All right, I got a crazy one for you. Tyler the Creator. I love Tyler the Creator, and his stuff is crazy. Like his Loiter Squad. I love that show on. I feel like that would actually be a good person to work with on a Slowpoke. If they ever want to make a Slowpoke's cartoon or a movie or something like that, that's a guy to do it with because he's just as crazy as I am, maybe even crazier.
Yeah, tap it crazier.
I think for me,
that's a good pick.
Mine would be very specific. It would be I would pick Tom Jane, but it would have to be on the Punisher. Punisher. And the reason being because he did play the Punisher in that first movie, which some people liked it, some people hated it. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it, but he did actually I don't even know what the fuck you want to call it. It was almost like a fan made clip on YouTube called "Dirty Laundry" of a take on the Punisher, like how he would have done it. And I saw that and I just felt that was like an awesome take. So I would really love to work with him on that fucking story. That version of the Punisher. So.
That'd be cool. That sounds cool.
Yeah, that would be mine.
I would like a multiverse of Will Ferrell's.
Oh,
yeah.
You would just break. Yeah, that would break the multiverse.
Ron Burgundy.
Ross, everybody. Shoot, man. Or maybe even like a Morgan Freeman comic of just everyday life. Just Morgan Freeman, just in a comic. I'm cool with that.
Samuel L. Jackson. That would be the easiest thing to write.
Again.
Or Morgan Freeman reading Uncle Ben's death, Uncle Ben had it for the last time. Aunt May looked at her with a grimace.
$1 million idea.
Samuel L. Jackson narrating Batman's origin.
Their parents are fucking dead.
Stop them motherfuckers. Motherfucker.
Say what again? Oh, that's awesome.
That would be another good one to work with, Samuel L. Jackson.
Let's imagine him as my letterer, just all right, we're gonna add a motherfucker.
You just you know what? Just let me scratch this out here and just put in a motherfucker.
No. Steve, I don't know what you were thinking, but motherfucker works right here.
Guys, I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but it's accessible on YouTube. You can find the video if you want. I'll even share it in our chat after. But there was an interview where Samuel L. Jackson had to read an Italian song called "Shut Up Your Face," and it was probably the best thing I've ever seen. You have to watch it. If you haven't seen it, please watch it.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to check that out afterwards.
Yep.
I love those readings. They did one of Migos, the rappers Migos reading Llama Red Pajamas, Llama Llama.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
So do you is there any chance that we'll ever get a Slowpokes TV show, animated something?
Listen, I'm open to anything because at the very least, I feel like Slowpoke could be a horror movie, something on 100%. Shudder. You mean I feel like it can be done because you got too many characters and just if I could see Karate Carlos come to life on a screen, that means I made it. So I'm open to anything. But again, I don't want anybody to muddle anything. I don't want to be let's say a big company is we want Slowpokes, but we want to make it our way. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, right.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
So as long as it's a collaborative process and it's all right, let's make this movie, let's make it the right way, then that would be great. That would be an awesome.
I totally see it as a Netflix series. I'm putting it out there. Putting it out there.
All right, if Netflix or Shudder or Blumhouse or whatever wants to talk to me, let's talk. We can talk Zombie Day now. We can talk Slowpokes. We can talk positive, negative. You need a kids show? Let's go. I'm all about it. But we'll see if people want it. Tweet at the people because I think that's hilarious too. If people want a Slowpokes movie, tweet at Universal or tweet at Quentin Tarantino. Just tweet at the most random people and be like, what?
Oh, yeah.
The most random person that liked that follows me on Zombie Date Night Twitter is the Mike Zombie, who is the producer of "Started from the Bottom, Now We Here," the Drake song. I was like, what? Because I put as a like just entertain myself. I was like, oh, top 5 zombies, and I put like Rob Zombie, Mike Zombie, the zombies. Like I put that like just as just some content, create some discourse. And he saw it. He's like followed. I was like, oh shit. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
If you want a Slowpokes movie, if you want Slowpokes anything, just tweet at random people who can make that. It's crazy, just a crazy thing. Just be like, hey, I want to kill Fast Killer Sloth movie. Tag me in it.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely watch that.
I just want to see it happen. I want to get so the best thing about Slowpokes. So you have the cover there with you, right?
Mm-hmm. Keith,
yes, I do.
So that is my head. That is my head on the cover.
Shut up.
That's what I used to look like back in high school. So like, obviously thinner, but like that's my head. So we can get that on the silver screen, that'd be great. Just kill me on.
That'd be awesome.
That's hilarious.
Sorry about the glare, boys. Sorry about the glare, but Shiny Bag does that. Oh, it's perfect.
And I would switch it around to feature you, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm very horrible with this StreamYard shit. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We're just kind of
StreamYard Sloth.
We're having fun. I don't care. Whatever. We're having fun. It's all good.
I mean, that's it right there. So, let's see. Keys, you got any questions for him?
Man, I think he nailed all of them out the park there.
Black Crown, you got anything?
Yeah. So when are we expecting Zombie Date Night to drop?
Zombie Date Night, at least at this point, we'll drop at least a digital version when you're back. Hopefully the day of the Kickstarter ending.
Nice.
So right now it's being lettered. All the colors are done. All the inks are done. All that stuff is done. Lettering probably won't take. It's a good process, but it's not going to take until August. I know that. I know it's being worked on currently. So I'm sure I'm going to get the final thing in the next few weeks. And then once that happens, I'll set up the digital copy. And then by the time the Kickstarter's over, everybody should get it in their inbox, at least the digital version. And then once I collect the money and everything, I'll be sending it out myself, all the Slowpokes. Or not Slowpokes, all the Zombie Date Night issues.
Awesome.
You have no idea. I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. There's a panel in Slowpokes where the girl's in the bathroom stall. Yeah, you can see like the smear of blood from a vent, and she's like half of her, the entrails are all out. I was like, this is amazing. Especially with LJ being like just completely chewed.
Yeah, I love that. I love when the guy who's vaping gets his throat cut because that's really.
Oh,
yes.
So that kind of came from a friend of mine made a joke where he was in his car just waiting, I guess, for class, and he was looking at somebody with a vape, and they broke the vape, and he's like, "What if that was my superpower?"
Right.
So I was like, well, people. Sometimes you just hate those people who just vape all the time because it looks like they're sucking on robot penises. That's what basically. That's what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, listen, people we've all done it. It's fine. But
I hate you guys.
He's gonna vape his brains out after this.
Just stress vaping.
And so I guess one other thing that I'm curious about. We got the next project already in the works, or is that something that you're already getting ready to go on Kickstarter, or anytime soon?
Still noodling some things, still trying to figure it out. I'm hoping I have some more projects for this year, but it's just a matter of just like finding the art, making sure that everything flows well, and making sure that it's suitable. But once that is the case, I'll be good to go, because that's for me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to send it out. Let's bring it back to me, and I'm ready to go. Always on go. And that's the fun thing about these Kickstarters is that with every Kickstarter I can do a different theme, and I can have fun with it. And I don't have to just do, the same old. Like I want to make sure that everybody has fun with these Kickstarters.
Oh, we will. We will.
All All right, guys. Well, so I guess we'll go ahead and we'll get into like the last portion that we do that basically wraps up our show. And Steve, you're more than welcome to hang out with us while we do it.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
go.
gonna go through.
I will listen. If I don't know anything about the subject, I'll just listen. And
Well, we don't have a whole lot that we need to hit on. We only really got like two like outside news topics. I mean, there's some big stuff that happened. But you know, we're just gonna hit on two big things.
Go for it
today, and then we'll get into the new comic book day and FOC portion. So the first thing was, guys, you know, we got the death of Scarlet Witch, and I was just wanted to get you guys' opinion on how that how you feel that's gonna play out, how that's working. What are we doing there? What do you guys think?
I think someone's getting Father of the Year. I said this many times. Well, it's clearly setting up trials, right? Trials of Magneto.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to be their event next. You know, I have problems with this whole scenario, though. I mean, first of all, like the premise is that Scarlet Witch got choked to death.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to her powers?
Was it OJ?
Yeah, right. Blood does not fit.
Also, who is? Listen, I've been out of loop about this. Who is Magneto's lawyer? Because I'm very curious about that.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems odd to me that the first thing that they do is they seem to want to jump to blame Magneto. Like that shit doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Why are we just assuming it was Magneto, who was her dad for years and seems to still have some kind of decent relationship with her? Like there's just, I don't know. It doesn't feel.
But Face, did you feel it was like totally out of left field?
Yes and no. I mean, we knew that there was going to be something that happened at the end of this. And we knew that it was going to be a death because we were getting the trials of Magneto. So I think the choice was interesting. It does give them some options. I mean, we've talked about this. It seems like it feels like it's going to be a way to retcon her back into being a mutant.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they're going to do with it, but it does seem to be the possibility in the long run. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
I agree.
It was an interesting choice of character. But yeah, like it presents problems because how are you gonna choke out Scarlet Witch? I mean, she just like all of a sudden her powers don't fucking work or something like that,
right?
Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
And it just
maybe she choked herself because usually isn't that what happens in these situations where it's just like I just want to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, it feels like it's.
You know what I mean? Like I imagine if Scarlet Witch was just petty and she's just like, I want to see what they say at my funeral.
It feels like they were using it as sort of a ploy for her to end up being brought back by the Five, and then it's like, oh no, wait, she really is a mutant. It just feels like they're going to retcon it back to that. I mean, I could be wrong, obviously, but I don't know.
Nah, I think you're right.
It's a weird choice.
I'm not going to go too deep into it because I mean, no lie here. I think I dropped X Factor at like issue 3 or 4.
Right.
So obviously with the buzz, I was like, okay, well, let's see what this is all about. So I'm not too sure what the buildup was, let's say in issue 9, but I did obviously just skip to 10 because I wanted to see how everything happened. And it kind of left me exactly thinking the same way you just did about like, okay, maybe this is to justify and whatnot. She's a mutant and.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. We'll have to wait and see. I don't foresee her staying dead. She's a character that's way too popular right now. So, But
well, the other big now, with all the MCU stuff, the WandaVision.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Dude, does anybody ever stay dead in comics? I fal like that
not anymore. Like Uncle Ben, that's about it.
Galactus is still dead, though, right?
Whoa, easy. Yeah, he's still dead right now, I guess. The other big thing though was interesting. The the Blackstone buyout or buy-in or whatever to CGC, and how that's going to affect the hobby as a whole. Steve, have you ever given any thought to going? I don't know what would be involved in it, but I guess there's some kind of certification that CGC can do to get your comics certified or your autograph certified, so you can get your slab signatures.
If people want me to do that, I'll gladly do that.
Shit, I'll buy a signature.
My handwriting is so shitty that I don't think anybody can duplicate it.
No, I feel like I suffer from the same thing, man. Sometimes I look back at my writing, like it's so intimidating when my wife writes the grocery list, what to pick up, and then she's like, "Are we missing anything?" And I'm there with the pen. I'm like, "Nah, just drop it. I don't want to write next to her stuff."
Yeah, it was crazy just coming up with a signature, because the people, they tell you, they're like, don't use your real signature because they'll steal your bank information or whatever. So I do have a comic one where it's like the S and the U and then the Steve Urena. So it's nuts.
Wow.
But
he's totally lying. He does like Clayton Crane style, the Cranebow.
The rainbow.
He does the rainbow.
Your rainbow is good. Maybe I'll have to do that for each comic, though. That'd be fun to do a different.
Right.
Or people will try to kill me for that.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of money in those signature series things. So hey, you never know. Maybe it's worth it.
Maybe, I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'd be curious to just. I think that should be a class where it's just like, all right, let's see.
Right.
See people's handwriting signatures, and let's see if we can figure out our own one.
You know what should really be a fucking class, to be honest? Grading comics, and they should probably do that for the people that CGC hires.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know the process. They don't do that. They don't do that
I don't know, but they're hiring all these people. Where the fuck are they getting them? Home Depot, and then all of a sudden they're grading comics.
Wow.
How do you even apply for that? Like resume? Like it's like
yeah, like that's what I'm wondering. How do you get into that slot? Like, got to be some kind of a deal there.
I think this has become one of the main topics in recent weeks with everything going on. So
it's like a conspiracy, like just
now you're messing with the Rock, face. You can't bounce off him anymore. All right, we out here.
Rock La Familia. Yeah, I mean, they're buying in for a reason, so there must be some money in comics, I guess.
Yep.
It's gonna be like Beyonce's gonna drop a comic. It's gonna be like, hold up.
I'll work with Beyonce on the comic.
Steve,
Beyonce had one of the.
You heard the news though, right? That Jay-Z
Jay-Z invested into CGC, right, or the company that does that.
Yep.
That is very strange, but I mean, if we can get a Justice League of everybody in Rockefeller, which is Kanye West.
Well, you can get a signature series now too.
That's wild.
Keys signature series.
He's a smart guy, so he must see something,
right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What were you saying, Keys? That he's got 9.9 problems, but 9 ain't one.
That's it. That's it.
There you go.
Got 9.9 problems. That's it. It's not a 10. It's not a 10.
Right.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. Well, that's basically the news for the week. We kept it brief because we really wanted to focus on Steve and the stuff that he was doing. But of course, we got to do our FOC and our new comic book day picks for the week. So, I think I might have a little bit better method of going through these this week. So,
slideshow.
Yeah, we'll check this out and see if it works.
PowerPoint? Is it PowerPoint?
No. Come on now. Let's not get crazy. All right. We're going to start with the FOC picks. Week. And let's see. Here we go. Should be.
Oh,
there we go. All right. So these are our picks for books that are on FOC. Not this week, obviously, because FOC has passed, but the next coming week. So we're trying to stay a little.
For a second, you said featured picks. I thought you said feet picks, and I was like, "Whoa, where's this show?"
Hey,
Only fans.
Only we have to do. If we got to do this for Slowpokes 2, I will do it. Okay.
I take a left one.
I thought about doing an OnlyFans for Slowpokes, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck.
Only Sloth. Oh my god.
Right? Only Sloth. That would be great. All right. So FOC picks for this week, or well, next week. The first one we got up here is obviously Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's to Casey Jones. I threw this on here. I'm a TMNT fan. You know, these covers, they've done one for each of the Turtles. They did one for Splinter, and obviously, you know, I think this is the last one in the series, Casey Jones. But and it's actually reprint material. These things are thick as hell for one thing. Like there's a lot in there. I think they're like 80 to 100 pages or something like that.
Have
they're
you seen?
actually catching some heat in the in the secondary market.
Yeah, yo, the RAF one I think is like like $100 book right now. It's wild.
Yeah, the RAF one is on fire, man. Like people missed on it, I guess, and just the covers are just that dope.
For reprints?
It's wild, man. It's just a best
they really are.
All right, fine. That's what y'all want to spend the money, fine.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, it might be worth a pickup. I like it, so. All right.
This knockoff chasing looking dude.
Let's see if this works the way I want it to.
So is that supposed to be the Ninja Turtles climbing on top of him?
Oh, go back.
Let me see.
Wait, what?
Is that a double cover where it's like it looks like something else, or am I just seeing something stupid? It looks like the two Ninja Turtles on top, like looking at something, but I just could be reading into it.
Huh.
I want to see this, man.
I kind of think I see what you like you're talking about, like in the hair there at the top.
Yeah, so like if you look at that, it looks like an arm. It looks like they're like on surveillance. But again, I could be wrong. It's just it might not be that.
Yeah, no, I kind of see where you're going with it. I got it.
Have I stressed it enough that I love the mind of Steve right now? Like,
that's like a lot of read.
That's a Rorschach test. I failed it.
Well, fuck it. We weren't here to pass anyway.
There you go.
All right, Keys. You want to talk about a little bit?
Crossover 8. Last week we talked about 7 real briefly. We're like, hey, this is going to be a filler issue. Surprise, surprise, we were right. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, there was 2 characters that were introduced at the very end. So this is where I have a feeling it's going to pick up from the big reveal of issue 6. I mean, by all means, if you haven't checked out Crossover, it's not like the most spec-worthy book, but it's a fun read. And if you love older Image books or just like slightly under the radar books, you'll love to see the cameos and stuff and Easter eggs in this series. So, yeah, that's why it's on my list for sure. Plus, I mean, it's Donny Cates.
Right. Yeah, I guess he's back to it now, right? So, guess you're going to be progressing the story now.
The Chip was good. Chip Zdarsky was good. That one issue. It was solid. It was solid, but it was a filler. Yeah,
it's a dark. All right, so this is I love Guardians of the Galaxy to begin with, so I pick up everything Guardians of the Galaxy that I can. I've been reading it for a long time, even before the movies came out. I was into Guardians of the Galaxy. But this specifically is playing into the Infinite Destinies, Infinite Fury storyline. It has to do with what's going on with the Infinity Stones and Uatu the Watcher, the Nick Fury, that older version of Nick Fury, Forgotten, I think is what he's going by now. So it's playing into that, which looks like it's building up to one of the bigger summer events, of course. So that's why I made the list. Another event book basically.
So for a second, I thought he was punching Jesus, and I was like, "Man, Guardians of the Galaxy is going a different way."
Right? It kind of does look like that too.
I was like, that's a bold move.
I'm not gonna be able to unsee that.
Yeah, right.
Definitely not now. That's.
Like, I feel like Jesus owes him money. He's like, "Listen, man, I got it. I still got it."
It's like Jesus Keanu Reeves going on.
Yeah. Like, listen, Star-Lord, just give me 5 days. I got
He's getting paid, damn it.
Yeah, give me that money now.
Man.
Right.
Even the hand on the wrist, it's like, listen, my son, please do not pay.
Right.
Yes.
Black Crown, this is one of your picks. You want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about it?
This is issue 49. So I know that Immortal Hulk's ending at 50. Something big. He's going through this red door. I don't know what, but let's figure it out. We're wrapping it up in, there's 2 more issues after that. That's it. Or 1 more. Sorry, 50.
Is he becoming the Kool-Aid man? Jumping through.
Could be.
Oh,
that's right as he hits the door.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Right, yeah, he could definitely be the Kool-Aid man. That's probably his next transformation because he's going through about fucking 86 of them in this series.
Oh man, imagine we're right. Like it's just like it was all sponsorship. Like the Kool-Aid is back. We're gonna make
the best way to end the series ever.
I'm almost positive in the back. Like I'm gonna pay attention when we buy the issue. Just check the back to see if there's a Kool-Aid ad. Just check.
Oh yeah.
Sure, but yeah, Immortal Hulk. It's been a pretty good series. Getting ready to wrap up. So yeah, these are probably going to be pretty important issues. The last couple, and you would imagine, especially leading up to Donny Cates's, run on the Hulk, which we are all excited about.
Yep. Mr. Lasher, we're getting it. This is a first. This is a new symbiote. So let's
another one.
That's an awesome cover.
Yep.
And it's extreme, like from Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, definitely. It's very 90s, because that's cool again. So we're gonna be extreme. So you know what? He's very lacking in fucking pouches, though. There's no pouches. I don't see any pouches anywhere.
He needs some pockets. Is there ever a symbiote romper?
This guy actually popped up in Lethal Protector 4.
Really?
By the way, so he's not man. Yeah.
So I guess what it is there's supposedly because I've been hearing mixed things about it, and what I'm gathering is this. Okay, Lasher is not a new symbiote. Yeah, he showed up as part of the Life Foundation symbiotes, but Lasher apparently is going to have an offspring now, and I guess that's the new symbiote. If I'm understanding it correctly.
I always liked. I love Venom growing up, and like the symbiote's like hybrid. I thought that one was
hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid
cool.
be dope.
Yeah.
Toxin.
We need to bring hybrid back.
Yeah,
this is another book that plays into yet another big Marvel event, I guess. So.
But yeah, no, it is a first appearance of a new symbiote, right?
Yeah, it is. I believe it is being advertised as a first appearance.
Well, I gotta pick that up.
Yep.
That's on my list now. Thanks. Oh shoot, Lucky Devil, bro.
Keys, another book that Keys is very fond of. I was liking this one too, but go ahead, Keys, you got this.
Oh man, hey, I mean, if you can take it away, man, for like
no, go ahead.
Hey, it's time for your boy to get the shine. So this is by Dark Horse. It honestly, just the premise of the book is pretty cool. We got a dude that is possessed by a demon. They try and exorcise the demon out of the guy. It goes wrong, so it turns out he is able to keep all of the supernatural abilities that he got through the possession. I'm hoping he kind of can control them, you know what I'm saying? And as anyone would do with these powers, he exacts revenge on his enemies in brutal ways, and then all of a sudden, a cult is formed in his image. Wow. And then Hell doesn't like that. So Hell's like, all right, it's time to run up this man and get my powers back. And that's the book. Yeah. So, I mean, like,
I like it.
I've read similar books from smaller prints, and I couldn't get the whole series because they don't really carry them up here. So I'm kind of curious to see what this publisher is going to go with this type of story. So I'm going to pick up the first issue, probably give it a shot. Like, I usually give it like a 3-issue shot for any story, and then see if I drop it or not, But no, it seems really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking it up. And Dark Horse is a little bit of a bigger publisher than some of the other indies, so it's more likely you'll probably see it on the shelves for a while.
Yeah.
I'd say it does sound like it's a pretty interesting premise. It's definitely a pick up. it ain't. It's no slowpokes, but what can it be?
Oh my
No,
god, sloths from hell.
Than Slowpoke. Cullen Bunn is fucking awesome. So years ago, I interviewed him, and he was really nice. So
Oh yeah, he is.
glad to see he's still a name that is killing it out there.
Yeah, for sure. I love reading stuff by Cullen Bunn. I mean, I'd say he's probably in one of my top 5, especially when he does his kind of horror type stuff. So
yeah.
Speaking of authors that are in the top 5s, James Tynion killing it on first issue of Nice House on the Lake. So
his stuff. I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about him. I need to check.
Oh man.
So it's funny because I feel like because his stuff is so good now that comics are doing like the sentence title where it's like something is killing the children, the nice house on the lake. So I'm curious as to what is coming next, where it's just like I just bought this comic and I'm scared shitless. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that sounds like a title right there.
Like a logo throughout the whole thing. Like I think that'd be great.
All right. But yeah, it's just middle of that series, so of course I'm picking it up. And it's on fire. There's a lot of exclusive sport that people are going after. So definitely worth checking out. And if you haven't checked out this series already, I think the first issues are already going for a premium, but I know there is a second print coming out, and probably a third one coming. So
forewarning, though,
you'll be able to find this, for cover price if you really want to read it. So
it is a disturbing atmosphere. That's all I gotta say. It's just uncomfortable. Like you're reading it, and I'm like, it's just uncomfortable, man. It's creepy.
Like, the dude is legit creepy as shit.
Yeah, man. Like nothing is right in this scenario. My little kid's stranger danger alarm's just going off, and I'm like, oh,
but everybody's like, you know what?
Yeah,
Fuck it, we're gonna go up here for the summer. It's gonna be cool.
Yo, I think issue 2 drops this week, right?
Yep.
Yes, and we will talk about that in a little bit.
My bad.
Nah,
you're good. No, the doctor. You know what? Go ahead, Keys.
Oh man, let me tell you about this. Is issue 6? No,
Yep.
No, this is a series that Face recommended, and I kind of was a little hesitant because it had to do with a semi truck, and I was like, that's kind of stupid. But turns out it's actually lit. No pun intended. The series is heating up. I mean, it was a wild ride from the first issue, and now we're gonna see main antagonist finally catch up with these guys in a confrontation. It's definitely worth a check. There's like 1,000,002 prints for the first issue, so you guys should have no problem finding that. Yeah, man, it's a crazy adventure. It's like Mad Max mixed with like a dark apocalypse, kind of like zombies, but they call them shades. It's cool. It's really cool.
And actually, I'm really glad that we had this on the list, because now that I think about it, this is another one that I backed the Kickstarter.
Wow.
And it's interesting to me because I'm like, now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, why the fuck did this ever need a Kickstarter?
That cover is amazing. I mean, it looks cool.
Like it was coming. It was coming out from Image and everything. I just, I know it was during COVID and everything like that, but it seems like they didn't really need funding for it or anything. It was already there. But who knows? Whatever. I don't know. I ended up backing it. Fuck it.
So you got one of those rare printings, bro.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no, I got it somewhere, but like, I don't know. It's weird to me because at the time whenever I got it, I didn't realize that it was, through Image and everything like that. I thought it was something that Scott Snyder and them were putting out on their own. So that's why I jumped on it. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know a whole lot about the Kickstarter for how that would work with like Image or the ones that like are on Dynamite and everything like that. That always seems kind of weird to me. But
yeah,
whatever. I prefer to support the creators like like Mr. Urena there. Prefer to support those creators when I can now. So now that I realize that these things do pop up on there. So, but it is still a good read for sure. I love Nakara.
Oh yeah.
This is mine, and this is actually a B cover that I went with just because I love the cover. It's a new series coming out from AWA, Artists, Artisans, or some shit like that. I don't remember what it is exactly. AWA, Not All Robots. And this is obviously an homage cover to I don't remember what the painting's called.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, we've all seen it with the fucking farmer and his wife. Yeah, it's an homage to that with the robot. And
we've all seen that. There, you all know.
Right. Yeah, everybody knows the fucking painting. I don't know what the fucking name of it is, but that painting with the old farmer people. Yeah, and obviously, I'm pretty sure this is about killer robots. What more do you need? Cool homage cover, killer robots. I'm down.
I might be sold.
I know you. It's Keys. I know you're picking it up.
Go
ahead.
7.
That's no secret. That's no secret right there.
Well, it might be 7 of them.
Yep.
Oh. So 7-11. This is the 11th issue of
7-11.
7-11. That's key. That's key numerology. So we got to pick that up. And taquitos and Slurpee one time.
I think you hired I am.
So, yeah, well, no, I don't think that's possible. But issue 9 popped off, man. There were some a lot of all 7 of the secrets were revealed. Mm-hmm. Not to the reader though, just a few of them to the reader, and it left off on the biggest cliffhanger. Issue 10 is probably gonna pick that right back up. So 11 is an automatic scoop.
Oof.
There are always a plethora of new characters, and these guys are on the run. So this is a non-stop paced book. Honestly, this series is slept on. I could see some sort of American anime company picking this up immediately. Yeah. I mean, the guy on the front cover, Kanto alone, is he's so mysterious. He is so badass because I don't want to ruin anything. Yeah. Each individual character, there's so much to them. There's so much depth that they could totally take off the show. And if you haven't, give it a shot. I think this is a sleeper series, hands down. If I had to pick one recently that came out.
Yeah, 7 Secrets is great, and I agree. Great. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. It's really good.
I was sleeping until actually Marvell, who's in the chat, told me. Well, he was telling all of us, like, guys, get on this, and I'm at issue 6 now, and sincerely, everything about it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So now you got me curious for issue 9. Like I'm like
issue 9's insane.
Just go read it.
It's insane, man.
Oh yeah. Definitely, yeah. Like this between this and Radiant Black right now with man. Whew. Both of those series are really great, especially coming from indie companies booming.
I don't know about really great, man. Issue 1 of Radiant Black was shit. I'm saying now,
bro. Easy. You guys, I understand what you're saying, but there's a purpose behind it. There's a purpose.
I know. I'm finally caught up, and I'm a believer now.
Yeah, exactly. Now. All right. So moving on to the next one, we got Sinister War 2, Black Crown. This is all you, baby.
What kind of smudge is that?
So I guess
that's the sketch cover or some. I don't know.
Yep. But I don't want to talk too much about this week's book coming out. But obviously, Sinister War. We see where ASM's going with issue 75. I think this is where it's all going to go down. Not issue number 2, definitely within the series. I think this is where Peter's going to get written off. So as they have this to ASM 75, I think it'll cross-reference from what I'm getting out of this. So we'll see. But
so you think Peter Parker is he's gonna bite it?
Yeah, I think he's gonna lose, man. I don't know how. Obviously, because from what I'm understanding, there's going to be 2 Sinister teams or something like that. Like there's a Sinister 6 and then there's like a Savage 6 or something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So I think this entire series is definitely going to come together with the whole fate of Peter, and that's where it's going to end off, I guess, ASM 75. That's what I'm getting out of it.
I really
pop group like the Turbulent 12, like you know.
Oh my god!
Right. I really feel like they're gonna nightfall him though. I really feel like that's the route that they're going. And obviously I could be completely off base on that, but that's just the vibe that I'm getting. They're doing this Sinister War and everything like that, which is gonna lead into whatever happens, whoever it is, the big bad that's sort of gonna. I don't necessarily know that Peter's gonna get killed or anything, but he's gonna get taken out of commission for a while, sort of like Bane breaking Batman's back. Because and it's kind of a similar, vibe to it, because now you got Peter fighting all these different people in the Sinister Six and the Savage Six, so they're wearing him down. Somebody, injures him, and then in comes Ben Reilly, and we've already seen Ben Reilly. He's had his villainous side before as the Jackal, so for him to take that kind of Azrael turn, and it just feels like a Nightfall story.
It has a lot of the Nightfall feel, I guess, as we lead up to it. We haven't read it, but totally the vibe I get as well. So I don't know. I don't think they'll obviously kill him. They actually did that not too long ago. ASM 700.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
How long? Yeah, it didn't last very long either.
Yeah, unfortunately. But
no,
I like it. I like the way he went down, man.
You like the superior
phrasing.
Okay.
Sorry?
Nothing wrong with that.
I didn't hear you.
Right.
Okay.
And this one was one that I put on there. I put this on there because it kind of stuck out to me as a random issue. Spirits of Vengeance, Spirit Rider, centering around a character named Kushala. And I just have a feeling with that summer event coming on with like the Darkhold and stuff, and the mystical side. I think she's probably going to play a role. Otherwise, why would they be, giving her a one shot? So seems like she'll show up in something. So I figured this one shot's probably worth picking up to check out her story. But other than that, it's just cool. I think it's just going to be a cool reader thing, for the most part. It's kind of dope cover.
Yeah, unreal, man.
I don't know if she's a new character or not, though. I have like no idea who she is.
I think she's a few years old.
I feel like she's a character that should have existed for a while, but they haven't maybe done shit with her.
Yeah.
So
is the premise for this like Wakanda, like Ghost Rider type of thing?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It kind of has that vibe to it. So
I mean, they do a lot of spiritual stuff in Black Panther.
Right. That would make sense.
She looks cool.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, I mean, they're obviously bringing her back for a reason, so they'll use her in something that one of these summer events. She'll show up and do some shit. Oh, yeah. probably be a badass.
I'm just waiting for Keys to say that this cover is fire. Like.
It was. I was biting my tongue.
I know, right? I was waiting for it too. He never did it.
Fuego.
Fuego.
Keys, this is all you, because I don't know what the hell this is.
Man, you know what you're looking at right there? You're looking at greatness. That's what you're looking at right there. This is Trover Saves the Universe. It is the same universe, set in the same universe as Rick and Morty. If y'all haven't watched Rick and Morty, I don't know where you guys have been in your life.
Rick and Morty.
This is a video game too, right?
Yes, it is a video game. T-Pain put out a song about this because he loves this game so much. Oh man, So I think
T-Pain put out a song. I mean, shit.
Man, straight up said, "Look, my name's T-Pain. I don't get paid. I just wanted to let you know that Trover Saves the Universe is awesome." Literally, the song. I was like, "That's so cool." So we might get some Rick and Morty tie-ins. I believe this is his first comic appearance, but don't hold me to that. But I believe, so if you like Rick and Morty, you're a fan of that, and you got some faith in the universe because this came from a video game, so it's kind of, it's like the DLC to the video game.
That is true. That sounds good.
Yes, it'll tell the story just afterwards, So if you have any faith in it, I'd probably scoop it. You're definitely gonna laugh or think it's the dumbest thing ever, but hey, worth a shot, 50-50.
Why do his hands look like nutsacks?
But what? I think you need more Rick and Morty in your life, bro. I got.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro.
So the eyeballs that have the faces as eyeballs don't do that. I mean, that doesn't ruse you or rattle you in any way. It's the hands you're looking at here. You're crazy.
You know,
I was going to point out that
to me. I was like, yo, why his hands look like nutsacks?
Both nutsacks have one bigger than the other, man.
All right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So now we're gonna jump into our last portion. The big one, new comic book day pickups. Just running down, not a comprehensive list or anything. Again, let me go ahead and put it out there. If you're looking for the comprehensive list for your FOC, you want to check out Sparks Comics channel on Sundays, I believe at 2:00 in the afternoon. He does an FOC show where he goes over absolutely everything. And gives you all the information that you'll need to get your pre-orders in. Like we just hit on the highlights, our personal highlights, or issues that we think are going to be big. So you want to check out Sparks for the more comprehensive list. For your new comic book day stuff, Sundays at 9:30-ish. You can check out Newbie Comics channel. And, he's on there doing the new comic book day show. I'm on there every other week when I'm not working. And we are soon going to be joined by a new co-host that's here today. Black Crown, you're going to be joining us?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
that's the craziness. Let's go.
At 9:30-ish, like somewhere around there.
Newbie, he usually gets started about 5 minutes late because, that's just, we're never on time. I don't know.
That's just the way it is.
Fucking newbie. What can you do? All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into our new comic book day portion. Let me get that pulled up here.
It's actually a heavy week, man. Shoot.
Yeah, it is.
It was kind of a heavy week.
You guys are doing a great job because for me, like some of this stuff, there's so much good stuff that like I don't know where to start. So this is a good place to listen.
So Steve, I'm gonna put it out there. The worst thing you could do, and like you said, is now you are reading through the previous stuff.
Yes.
Every week I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna read this one on Sunday. Never comes. I never read it, and then I'm screwed.
All right.
Too much good art and good writing. Like it's just
there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
wild. It's wild.
Oh yeah, there definitely is. And I mean, there is some stuff that's not so great. I'm not sure how Amazing Spider-Man got on my fucking list because I'm definitely not a huge fan of that series. But I know that was Black Crown to put it on there, and I understand why because this Sinister War shit actually does sound cool. Like I have not been a fan of Nick Spencer's run. I'm gonna be honest. I like a lot of other stuff that he's done, but I haven't been a fan of the run on Spider-Man.
I don't know. I don't know though. I don't know if it shows. I don't know if it shows face, but like, in the previous shows, every time we speak ASM, I'm like, oh, fuck the Spencer run. I hate it. It sucks. But now we are building up to the war where I again get happy because we're losing Peter. So here's where it starts.
He really hates Peter.
I love Peter, but yo,
that's a clip.
we need something new. We need something new. But so for this one, Sinister War is obviously the prelude. It starts here. There's a lot of talks of possible first appearance, team appearance. Right. So like I said, I think there was this like the new Sinister Six and the Savage Six. So Savage Six is led by Vulture, and the Sinister is Doc Ock. So I'm curious.
I think this storyline is actually gonna be real fire. I mean,
yeah.
We'll see.
It's looking good.
So help me God if this lets me down.
I'm still saying fuck Kindred though. I'm tired of Kindred's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm letting you guys pick that up and then telling me how it is. I'm not rushing to get it. Nah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna pick it up because it is a dope cover. So
it's half decent.
Speaking of dope covers, another dope cover here.
Yeah, this is the cover B.
And I believe. Well, we all kind of got
similar list.
So yeah, I think pretty much everybody has this on our pick list.
Yeah.
Second issue of Basilisk. It follows a main character whose powers basically
are staring at people.
Yeah, she turns people to
Is
stone.
it basil? Turning people into basil?
Shut up.
Right.
I'm glad I'm
I
not
don't
the
know.
only
That
one.
might be real shit. That could be some basil coming off there. That dude's definitely not making it out of this issue.
Oh, yo, book one was a great read. It was a great read. Sorry, I said weed. It was a great
weed.
I like great weed.
Yep, and kind of like Keys said earlier. You know, you give it 3 issues, and this one's up there. Number 1 was real good.
Yeah,
it was decent.
Definitely hooked on number 1. I'm definitely picking up number 2. Yeah, it sounds like we're all pretty much in agreement that Haskell is pretty good so far. So we're picking up. All right. Next in this one, of course, this is a mainstay, but this one's even more impressive because another fucking Jock cover, and every time he does one, yeah, it's epic.
That Venom was fire.
Yeah, and I mean, you know the one he did on Tech, what was it, 880? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So another Batman. I don't think this is gonna get up into the range of price of Tech 880 because I don't think as many people will be sleeping on it. But these Jock covers do have some definite secondary market value. So
I don't want to be that guy that says like total cover buy, but like just the cover alone is
100%.
It really is a cover buy on that.
Yeah,
I mean that shit is sweet as hell. Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even look at the fucking synopsis for it. It was first of all, it was Batman. Yeah, it was
it's
Batman.
just the rise of the madness trade.
Anyway.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna get it anyway. So, and then I saw the Jock cover. I was like, I don't even need to read it. So I'm just gonna put it on the list.
Yeah, man.
Geiger number 4.
Oof.
Keith, take it away.
Mad Max, a radioactive Mad Max. That's all I gotta say.
Yo,
fire.
Spot on.
Radioactive. Yeah, that's a perfect description.
Like the Geiger counter.
Yep. The dude is apparently very radioactive.
Yeah.
And
he glows.
Yeah,
if you're afraid of the dark, this man glows. It's pretty cool.
He lights the way.
That's it.
But I think out of all the covers for issue 4, this cover B is my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah.
It's a beauty.
Which is this series has been a multiple cover buy for me.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of good covers in the series. So.
And plus, no spoilers. Issue 1, obviously key. Issue 2, definitely key. So don't sleep on 2.
Yeah.
And we're just seeing a little bit more depth into this glowing character here, and some heartstrings being pulled. Is this 4 is going to pop off, man? 4 is going to pop off.
Yeah, it's definitely a great read too. I mean, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Johns is writing it, and regardless of all of the controversial stuff or whatever, the man knows how to write fucking comics, and he's killing it on this.
Yeah, buddy. It's a book about family.
Right.
A radioactive family. The nuclear family.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Yeah, right. There is a nuclear family comic too. I think it's from
maybe that name was taken. Like, oh shit.
Right, exactly. I threw this one on there. Justice League. What is it? 64, I believe.
Nintendo.
It sounds like we're gonna get at least first appearance of a new team.
Mm-hmm.
They have sort of like a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, where they kind of protect more of the interstellar shit in DC, I guess. But yeah, new group called the United. Might be some new characters. I'm not sure yet. So it might be worth checking out. Who knows what they're gonna do with them in the future. So.
I won't lie, I haven't touched the Justice League book since Dark Knight's Death Metal.
Well, I was going to say the other thing too is that the Justice League Dark, the backstory that they're doing in that right now, because whenever you get this, you actually get the Justice League story, and then the second half of the issue is Justice League Dark, and Justice League Dark has been fucking fantastic. So, yeah, it's Justice League Dark's totally worth picking up right now. The main story, it's been all right. Like, it's not been bad. you know, you're getting first appearances. So hey,
true, true.
All right. Another series that's a favorite of mine, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Black Crown take this one because he added it to the list. And
honestly, from issue 1 till now, it's probably one of the more refreshing reads. I find right out the gate, it was like, damn, I really enjoyed this. I think this issue 5 is the final one, so definitely looking to see how they conclude this. I do hope. I'm not too sure if there's going to be another arc after this. I hope it comes back. You know what I mean? Because I think all 4 issues up until now, or no, wait, sorry, I'm at 3. Yeah, 3 issues have been solid. So I'm hoping that it'll continue afterwards.
Yeah, I've loved Carmen. I jumped on it, first issue, and like you said, it was a great read. It was very, very something very different, but it was very good. Definitely can pull on some heartstrings at times, and there's some really good comedy in it. Carmen is a fantastic character, so check it out. I can't even really put it into like a genre type because I don't even know what it would fit in.
I agree, man. It's even got like, from issue 1, it even feels like I don't want to say spiritual. It's not spiritual, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
But you get where I'm going, right?
Kind of your vibe in a sense. It's yeah.
What in the ass are you guys talking about?
But have you read it?
Nah.
Yeah, well,
yeah, you got to give it a read sometime.
So
yeah,
like
I can't even put it into words, but it starts off like it's deep, man. It's pretty deep, and then like
it really is.
Stuff.
And then it just gets like magical out of nowhere. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I think I might have an extra copy. I'll have to send you keys.
I take you up on that
read, for sure. All right, on to next. Oh, here's another big one. Oh yeah. Everybody's getting into it right now. We were talking about Kevin Smith earlier. This is his baby right now. Masters of the Universe, and he's actually writing the series too. So
that's awesome. That's a good way to promote the show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right. And it sounds like it's basically a prelude to the show. So everybody's jumping on He-Man right now. So I would imagine which is going to be pretty big. I know there's several exclusives that are coming out for it. So
yeah, they're campaigning this shit hard too, man. I walk into Walmart now, it's all He-Man toys. I'm like, shit.
Oh, for sure.
No.
Yep.
And that fucking trailer was fire, bro. That trailer was fire. So
you know what? It was good.
Yeah, they could just be giving us all the good shit right up front. So who knows? We'll see. I'm very hopeful for it though. So I feel like Kevin Smith probably knows what he's doing.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody's just gonna be talking for 2 hours. I mean, 2 shots, no powers, nothing.
Right. Oh, here we go. We wanted to talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
Nice House on the Lake 2. This is the next issue. I mean, obviously, we are pretty much covered this. How great of a series this is. That fucking cover is
great cover. Holy
right? Yeah. That pretty much sums up the atmosphere of the book, man. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
what? It really does. Like between this, Department of the Truth, and Something is Killing the Children, man.
He's on fire.
Right?
We thought we're fucked up.
Ricky
There's
Bobby,
something real wrong with him.
Hey, don't forget Wind, man. Give Wind some love too.
Yeah, how does the same
just
dude
read that last night?
How does the same dude that's writing this shit write Wind?
I know. I love Wind. I think it's a great book.
Bro, it's okay. All right.
Oh,
it's soft. It's so soft.
It is, but it's nice. Like it's cool, man. It's refreshing.
It's a cool breeze. Wind.
It is.
It is. It's so good.
But no, pick this book up though, for real. It's gonna be. It's gonna
for
be
sure.
This is gonna be crazy.
And another one that we talked about. This is the next issue of Noctera, and this is just a dope cover by I think this is Franco or Francesco Francavilla, I believe, did this cover. And I like it. It's dope as shit.
Yeah.
Looks like there's some. I guess that's the creatures that are all there.
The shades.
Yeah, the shades, man. Like shades all around her and everything. Real
I just want to see a
convenient.
human shade.
Well, I feel like that's going to be coming down the road.
Got to.
Yeah.
Got to.
Noctera is a great series. We already went over it, so really not much more needs to be said about it.
We already shined some light on this series.
Oh, oh, here we go. And I went with my personal favorite cover on this one.
Oh yeah.
Skybound X #1 is coming out. First appearance of Clementine, the character from Telltale's games.
Walking Dead.
That is going to be in The Walking Dead. I don't know how that works because The Walking Dead is over. So,
but yeah,
we're getting her first appearance. So
there's also the cover C. I think would obviously be her first cover appearance. But I was reading into it, and it was saying that like the story also includes Rick Grimes from Walking Dead, and it's like a continuation from I think it was Walking Dead issue like in the 70s, somewhere there.
Right.
And I don't understand how. Like I have no idea how this is all going to.
I'm not sure. I think it's some kind of anthology series. I think they're what if stories is how they're going.
Cool.
I'm not sure.
A Rick Grimes 2000? No, it's like a different version of Rick Grimes.
I guess so. It's like Rick Grimes with a lightsaber. It's just
he's got a lightsaber. I mean, why wouldn't you have a lightsaber during the zombie apocalypse? Matter of fact, is there a lightsaber in Zombie Date Night? Do we have any lightsabers in Zombie Date Night? Because that would be cheating.
So there's chancletas with nails in it. There's a woman with a chainsaw leg.
A woman with a chainsaw leg?
Yo, that's like Grindhouse stuff, man. Oh,
that's fucking awesome.
Yo, you know how she runs, right? She just turns them both on. She got one.
You're right. Just ride that shit down the road. It's an anthology series of what if stories. It does kind of, the way that they've talked about it, you kind of get the vibe that they may do some kind of spin-off out of some of this shit. Like you may see some of these characters show up later in something else. Who knows? We'll see.
Man, there's a first appearance in every one of these issues. No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There probably is. So it's Skybound. I like Kirkman, so I'm gonna pick him up anyway.
Face. This is 5 issues, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's only 5 issues, so it's a mini series, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Doable.
Next. I like this one. Ooh. This cover. I love this cover.
What? Yo, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Oh, really? Oh, man. I'm just
putting this out there. I'm just putting this out there. You ready? You ready, Face? Yeah. You see that? You see that cover? Look. Yeah. Look. There's the crown. There's the skull. There's the skull. I want it. I'm buying it.
That's all it takes.
Well,
that's all it took. That's all it took.
Yeah, I was jumping on this on the strength of the cover alone because that shit is fantastic.
Yo.
But the other nice thing about it is apparently
Black Crown is hard.
Yo,
well, there's that.
My desk just went up 3. No.
But there's also going to be apparently another first appearance in it of Constantine's protege, sidekick, something or other. So, that's kind of interesting. I love Constantine. I'm a huge John Constantine fan.
Yeah, man. Because he's a prick. He's hilarious.
Cover, bro, you can't go wrong. Like, that cover is just, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Swamp Thing fan, that's probably one of his top 5 covers ever.
Or a fan of Crowns.
Yeah.
Or a fan of Crowns.
Yeah, especially those Black Crowns. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He looks like he did a mic drop. Like that's the hottest.
Oh yeah.
Boom! I'm out of
here. That's just about what it was. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got this right here." All right, and last but certainly not least, boom.
Oh yeah.
X-Men #1, the relaunch of X-Men. It looks like we're finally going to be doing X-Men stuff again.
Again.
Well, we just had a whole X-Men series where they didn't really do X-Men shit at all. It didn't feel like X-Men. So
you think we're gonna get it right this time?
We're doing team stuff, so that's an improvement, I guess.
Then they're gonna go back to colors again. Red, blue, gold, green.
You know what? I wouldn't be
else,
mad
man.
if they did, man. I love the '90s X-Men. That shit was dope.
The best, absolute best.
So much.
I could literally hear the guitar solo right now.
Oh man.
I probably wouldn't expect a whole lot in the way of first appearances in this one. I mean, we pretty much know who the team is. There may be a new villain, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's the first issue, the new relaunch. So
Magneto is just on a choking spree.
Yeah,
no,
he's gonna choke somebody out.
I don't even need magnets.
Talking about who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
I just hope there's like a mutant just with like one big hand. He's the choker.
That'd be amazing.
Oh no, he's got to have a hammer hand now.
Oh, hammer. He gets framed. Hammer hands gets framed, but then he's like, I can't do it.
He's like, I didn't choke her. I have hammer hands.
I wanted to do it, but I can't do it.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I mean, that's our FOC picks, and that's our show for this week. So Steve, thank you for joining us, man. It was a pleasure having you on here.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes.
Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. This is one of the better shows I've been on, which is awesome. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that, man. For sure.
Man.
Yeah, it was definitely a blast having you here, and I'd love to have you back again. Talk about some future projects and everything like that. So
absolutely,
sure.
I'll be back.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and let you guys get out of here. You can check out Steve on IG. I believe it's is it the real or is it just the?
I'm not good enough yet for the real, but if you want to find me on Twitter,
no, it's not the real.
Not the real. If you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Steve Urena, Urena, and you can find us also on Twitter and Instagram at Slowpokes Comic and Zombie Date Night. So I hope reach out to me, and if you want to see movies or TV shows of stuff I made, just tweet at the most random person who could make it happen and just tag me in it and see what happens.
Right?
I think we can pull some strings. Yo, where's Donnie Cates when we need him, bro?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the hype machine right there for sure. That'll get it in the movie for sure.
Steve, I have one last question for you.
Let's hear it. Let's go.
You mentioned prior that like fans were capable of purchasing through the Kickstarter, having themselves killed within Slowpoke, right?
Yes.
Are we going to be able to do that in zombies?
Yes. You could either be killed by a zombie, or you can become a zombie yourself. One or the other.
I'm thinking of maybe even I will pay to get this done for Face because that would really be his first appearance.
All right, listen.
You see what I'm saying? Right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, wow.
It would just be like a blurred face.
You don't see his face.
No, it would be amazing.
All right. Shit, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm game.
Oh, you'll
I'm
make
all for this.
What's his name? Wilson or whatever. Home Improvement. Just make every panel. It's just something blocking the face. Yo, random steam. Like
I love it.
He'll be the zombie running around with the fucked up mask on. Fucking screwdriver sticking out of his eye.
I love it.
Just keeping the mask in place.
Amazing.
That'd be awesome. Listen, I can do that. I can make it happen. If that's what you want, I'll do it.
Well,
for sure. It was definitely great having you on. And like I said, we definitely want to have you back whenever you have any future projects to talk about them for sure. Cool. Keys, you got anything going on? What's up with you, man?
Shit, I got shit on, man. Maybe a little mini video dropping YouTube, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy, man. I'll be here. This is where you're gonna find me. Right here. This is my house. Sort of.
Right here. It's home. Black Crown. Well, you got anything else going on outside of?
Not too much. Same thing.
He's lying.
I know. This is my home as well, but I will be joining Face and Newbie as well on Sunday nights. So,
for sure.
Details are still to be determined, but I will be making definite appearances with Newbie and Face.
And again, like I said, you guys can definitely check out Steve on Instagram and everything. But the best way you can do anything is just go over to Kickstarter, check it out. And if you can't, back the project itself, at least go ahead and share it with people, share it on your IG so other people can check it out and might be interested in it. So check them out for sure. Slowpokes and Zombie Date Night. Both, I've read Slowpokes already. Zombie Date Night's not out yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fucking just as epic. So definitely worth checking out. Sure. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. And, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button and, subscribe, do all that good YouTube shit. And we appreciate you joining us. And we hope to see you guys on again next week. And so remember, Kingpins, stay informed, stay ahead. Peace.
Oh, that's awesome.